Thank you, Craig.
So I definitely think the way to go with this is to, welcome to Terry Talks, named directly after myself, Terry. I won't be the one asking the questions or doing all of the talking because, you know, that's what the players are here for, and the DM, of course. So we'll hand it over to them.
All right. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you very much, Terry. Indeed. So
Wow, breaking the fourth wall, so cool.
just
Very
casual. But yeah, so this is just like a random session where we can discuss just random stuff, either campaign related or other things. This one is going to be released to everyone, and it's kind of like an example of some of the stuff and content you might be able to get access to if you become a Patreon subscriber. So plenty of stuff to look forward to. We've recently seen some sort of like mock-ups of dice, which are looking really good. Obviously, we have our Dice Guardian in the works as well. You'll be able to get a little Terry Dice Guardian.
Yes, indeed.
As of recording this, we have recorded episode 10 and we have released episode 7. We've done fairly well with these episodes so far.
Yes, thank you everyone who has been listening, watching. What do we say here?
Listening, because I mean, they might watch the video, but a lot of the times the videos are just blank screens. Obviously, once we get to doing the live streams, that's probably going to change.
Hopefully
But
it will change. It'd kind of be boring if it's in a live stream of just blank.
yeah, they'll just see me. This is the thing. They'll just see me. Either that, or I'm going to reposition my camera so that they can see the dice when I'm rolling them.
Ooh,
But then I also think that'll be a bit. We have to make sure there's no spoilers.
yeah. What we could also do is like I think there's a button to pop up the pop out the call and you can just record the window of the call.
Yeah, I have seen those as well. I'm gonna have to start getting to grips with Twitch so that we can do some live streaming through there.
Yes.
Big
Which
learning curve for me.
if you don't want to miss out when we stream, go already follow the Twitch. It's already up.
Yep. Follow the socials as well. We are going to be definitely posting more updates and stuff as we slowly get things more up and running.
Oh yeah,
Um, I try and keep on top of the Facebook side of things, but life's busy.
It happens.
But I do know we'll definitely be having more content shared, more content posted. Obviously, we are also in the works of creating Riders of Fate. For those of you who don't know, this is this is a tabletop RPG, which is going to be slightly simpler to play than D&D. Still going to have some great mechanics and some great bases in there, but just ever so slightly different. Currently, everyone
which
is
hopefully
working
at
on
some,
themselves.
What?
which hopefully at some point we will play test for you.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
indeed.
we've got like the bare bones of it, definitely.
So, pros of why you want to play Riders of Fate. You get a dragon.
Unique
Drag
races.
You get a dragon. That's it. That's all we need.
Yeah, you get a dragon. Unique races, unique spells.
There's
You
going to
need.
be more than 20 levels.
Oh yeah, 20 isn't going to be the max level. Also, for those of you who get access to the Riders of Fate channel as well, you'll actually be able
Patreon.
to, yeah, through Patreon, you'll actually be able to post spells, and we might,
Ideas.
yeah, we might tweak them a little bit, but there is a chance that we would then use them in there as well. So you would have the ability to add content to that, and much like D&D, you can build your own campaigns in this world as well.
Of course, we are planning on also writing some of our own, so that as modules. But we also would love to see what type of crazy adventures you can come up with using the TTRPG that we've come up with.
Definitely, we would love to see those like little adventures or those little occasions.
I I definitely won't be on the lookout for any of those. Not, that'd be so crazy and awesome and cool. Anyway,
I think the ones I would look out for is when they meet their dragons for the first time.
yes.
Because everyone's had such a varied experience with their dragons that they have got.
I love him. I love him.
And I think we discovered last time that Frost, because we're doing like a D&D version of Riders of Fate at the moment while we're creating the actual tabletop RPG side of it. We discovered that Frost character is the only one who hasn't had their dragon actually hatch for them.
Yeah, I never got to have my dragon hatch. Not
Which
that
is
that's
sad.
not that that stopped my character from bonding very well to her dragon, but
She's probably one of the strongest bonds with the dragon.
yeah, she definitely put in the work.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing. The more sort of like work you put in with them, the better the rewards. Like it is directly correlated.
She put in the work from the second she got her. She did. She rode all the way out to get her.
She did, yeah. To be fair, she did put in a lot of effort to go and get that dragon. Everyone else
Hell
thought she was
yeah.
absolutely crazy. Why are you rowing a boat out into the middle of the ocean? There's nothing there. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Dragon.
There is something shiny. I must have it.
Mock invades her personality for a second. Give me the shiny.
But yeah, so that's in the works. As soon as that's released, we'll have a look at, getting that out there for people to play as well. We
Are the,
definitely want to share it with the community.
are the dragon types going to be the same, or are you going to change it up?
I think I've gone through. I can't. I've the books somewhere else, unfortunately, so I can't really go over anything massively in detail. In this sort of like Terry talk, but we I've got some ideas for dragon types. I just
Okay.
need to polish them off slightly so that they're all pretty like obviously they're going to have their strengths and their weaknesses, but I don't want one of them to be vastly more powerful than the others, aside from obviously the one dragon that no one will ever own.
Yeah.
The problems with game balance. Trying to make everything be equally good and equally bad.
Yeah, I mean that's why I think when we play test it, I am going to put out a thing for people to, and I want to do this so I can see where the limitations of our systems are, but for people to essentially try and break the mechanics.
Oh, we have a perfect player for that.
Like to build a cat. Well, we do have someone who is a perfect player, but I don't think they're ever going to come across to this side of our D&D lives, shall I say?
Sadly,
Yeah.
I think so too.
And I mean, I'm perfectly fine with that. They are happy to play our non-recorded campaign. They are a very big part of our non-recorded campaigns, and I just this side of it, the recording side of it, I don't think is their thing, which is fair
Mm.
enough. But yeah, so I'm gonna like ask people to create, like characters that the whole idea is to just see how broken you can make it. And so long as it's not like game breaking, I think we're okay, because then that can be at the discretion of the person who leads the game, which we are calling Fate.
Ah, I see. That's a bit. I like that.
Yeah, the person who runs that campaign is going to be called Fate.
Yep.
Which we had a brief discussion about, and I kind of went, "This is what I want it to be," because then, literally, to like in a game that's called The Riders of Fate, Fate decides everything,
Yeah.
and that works in a dual-edged kind of way, because whatever you roll on your dice, that's just up to Fate, and then the person who leads the campaign is also Fate, so they also. I just thought it was really nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, definitely. Should we talk about some of the spells that we've brainstormed for that, since we're on the topic?
I mean,
Oh,
yeah, this
yeah.
this Terry
Hell yeah.
Talks is, although it's named after Terry, the idea is that it is our backstage content. So like if we're discussing Riders of Fate, that's in there. If we're discussing parts from the like campaign that have been published, remember we're up to episode 7, so this will be published just before episode 8. Hopefully on Wednesday this will be published. It is
Mm.
Tuesday when we are recording this, so tomorrow. Um but yeah, this area is like, this is just for us to show people what else is in the works, what else is on the way. Have a chat about some of the campaign parts we've already played. If people want to take this campaign in a sense and try and play it themselves with their own characters, we can add little pointers in and stuff. Maybe a couple of DM tips, player tips. Um, Generally, just this is more of like the podcast, the heavy podcast side of it, and then we'll obviously have the D&D/podcast sessions.
Very
So
nice.
so yeah, I mean we can go over some of the ideas we've got for some of the spells at the moment. There's some quite good ones. So I think we've got the calendar, we've got the months. In my other book, we've got the classes and the races and stuff.
And the
So
stats.
yeah, we've got the stats. I've actually got the stats in this book.
Oh, hell yeah. So then you can tell me, please.
So obviously we're not using quite the same mechanics as D&D. Obviously as it is its own variation, but the stats that we have. So I mean, I can read you literally what I've written as the first welcome. It is a few pages, but we'll go over the stats because one of them goes into race, and I don't have all of them.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, at the moment, I've got obviously welcome to Riders of Fate character creation. The first step of character creation is to choose your race. Once your race has been chosen, you will need to select your subrace and make note of which expertise this will grant you and any features. Once you have your race and subrace, you can select your class. Again, make note of any features and expertise this may grant you. Once you have your race, subrace, and class, you can move forward to creating your stats. So, expertise is essentially like proficiency. So
Okay.
instead of like a race or class granting you proficiency, it gives you expertise. You can have multiple expertise, but not on the same stat, obviously. Uh, there are 7 base stats. So we have strength. Obviously that's anything strength related, and your race and weapon could determine your attack, depending on if you're a race that attacks physically or, with a weapon. Skill. This will determine your ability to perform certain tasks such as lock picking or similar performance-based type tasks. Health, this will determine the amount of health your character will have, and the minimum health you must have to remain alive. So in ours, once you drop below your like minimum health, you go into a death state. If you then hit 0 health or go below 0, that is it. There is no reincarnation, no resuscitation, but you want to be really careful of this stat because it actually links in with a certain trait of your dragon.
Ooh, that part we didn't know.
That part you
No.
do know.
What?
Oh,
You have all been told this.
I don't remember that, but probably.
So all of you are aware that if a dragon rider dies,
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
their dragon goes mental. And oftentimes, if a dragon dies, the rider will become so depressed or angry that they will also go mental.
mental.
Yeah, the whole idea is that you and your dragon depend on each other, and if you lose your dragon, it's going to cost you. There have been known instances of people to transfer like riders to get new dragons, but it is very rare and a very difficult process. Then we have intelligence, knowledge, charm, magic, and aerobatics. So to create your
Mm.
stats, you will roll 1d4 for each stat. This number will be your starting stat. You will then gain expertise from your subrace, race, or class, and that will give you a +1 modification to the specified stat. So instead of having to roll a load of dice and add up the numbers and try,
Removing
yeah,
the least.
and then changing that into a modifier, you instead just start out with a 1d4. So anywhere between 1 and 4 on each of your stats. And then when you level up to level 2, you get another, like, you can roll again to add that to your stat, so to speak. Or you get a +1 and it adds on. Where I'm still trying to figure that specific part out.
Okay.
But then the idea is it's simpler to pick up. So instead of having to roll a load of dice and do a load of maths, you roll one dice, you decide where that dice goes. That means you will either have between 1 or 4 as a modifier. It just depends on how well you roll. And then it goes on to your dragon. Joining you on your adventure will be your dragon. This will act as your companion and later on also act as your mount if you choose. To create your dragon, you must first pick your dragon type. This will determine its damage type and also any bonuses it may have to its stats. Your dragon stats are decided in the same way as your own, instead using a d6, so a 6-sided number dice. Although your dragon is your companion, they cannot be used for every activity. Instead, they can complete tasks equal to their level per day cycle. One cycle is both day and night. And that's basically it up to the races.
Okay then.
Very fun.
I do have another book with a lot more information. It's got like all the races, the sub races, where you would normally find them. Like there is a lot of this that is virtually done. We just need to round out some of the parts. So let's have a talk through some of these spells.
All right.
I am happy to read Radal's suggestions, as May is not here.
Okay.
So they've said flare, create a bright light that hovers in place for duration. So we'd need to think of a time limit, but I quite like that one. It's always good to have a source of light. Spring.
Oh, I thought you were going to go through all of them and then I was going to go through mine. Okay.
We'll do it in the
Um,
order they were posted because I think that works well.
okay. Then I have suggested spark. You create a small spark in a place in range you can see. If on a flammable surface, a fire starts. If on water, small electric shock goes through entire body of water. If on if on a wet surface, the same happens.
That's quite a good one. Images of someone trying to create a Pikachu. It's gonna happen, let's be honest.
Good.
But you said, what are you? I'm an electric type. Okay. Yeah, that's quite a good one. Sling. Hurl a rock / small object at your opponent. Gust. Conjure a gust of air to push back an object or opponent. Distance unknown. Freeze. Turn water in an area into ice. So that one we're probably going to put as like I say, 15-foot. Centered on you type thing.
Okay.
Then Spring made a suggestion for Sling.
Yeah, because before it was just a rock, so I thought that it could add the small object part, because when I think of sling, think more of a throwing an object at someone.
I
Like
think of
you're
like the old age, like battle sling, where you would just put like a stone in it and then whip it at them,
Fair. I didn't.
or like a slingshot.
Yeah. Which, when put like that, yeah, that's why it's like that. But I didn't think of that. I just thought of the verb sling. So.
Well, they did. May did go on to explain that they meant the idea was to create a rock from nothing. But I do think if you had it as you could either create a small rock or pick up a small object, and instead you create the sling.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a magical sling that you make out of nothing. And if you don't have anything to like use in it, it will also create a small rock. But if you can find a small rock or object in your vicinity, then it will be empty.
That is more versatility, which hell yeah.
But the other thing is, if you don't say if you're in an area and you don't investigate it, and there are rocks there that you could use, your sling will just appear empty.
Oh, I love that.
So then you'll be in the middle of the battle, like shit. I need to find a rock.
Where's the
There's,
goddamn rock?
there's got to be one around here somewhere. Really annoying if it could use like someone's brooch, and there's literally nothing else in the whole area. Sling just appears empty because this guy's got a brooch you could use against him. It's just there, like, what do I do? Do I turn down?
Oh
I
dear,
run
the
up and steal the
chaos.
brooch.
Oh dear, the chaos.
But you could turn it into like funny situations like that, and I think I want to have some of that
Yeah.
lightheartedness. So I definitely think Sling for me would be, and again, this is only talks. This is only in works. It's not a guaranteed. But I genuinely think Sling should be that the sling itself is created by magic, and then it'll either create a rock, or if there's an object you can use within a 20-foot radius of you, it will just appear empty. Which is going to be great for, say, like
I
forest,
think
woods,
I
plains.
I think actually what we should do is leave it up to fate. Like, if they want more of that chaos and lightheartedness, it could be that. But if fate wants like to remove that part of the randomness and whatever, it could just be like they can choose between either. Like
I think
the
we should say
caster.
it would. I think we should say it would depend on dice roll, because
Oh,
otherwise,
that
like
too.
the game master could, really mess people up in situations, just
yeah.
because
Oh, yeah,
why not?
okay.
And the idea is that
Okay,
it's
okay,
supposed to
yeah.
be a random, like if they roll a nat 20, then it'll appear with something inside it. but I still like
Okay.
the idea of in a 20-foot radius. So, like, if there is something they could use in a 20-foot radius, it will only take them a minimum of a turn to find it, and this would take a turn to cast.
Okay.
So it's not too bad to sit out for 2 turns to find an object. Plus, if you're using something to throw an object like a sling, you're gonna be a fair distance from the enemy as well.
Yeah, I always was going to have the maximum range be 20 foot of the it appears empty, but I just think that some fates would like that consistency, so
I mean,
I'm
again,
just
this
throwing it
is
out as an option.
yeah, again, this is all in works. So I'm sure when we release it, we will have a much more polished version.
Oh yeah, this is definitely like the rough version.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, as I said, like there's Gust, which doesn't even have its distance set. Freeze, which we haven't set the area for. There's a lot going into it. So then we've also got condense. So you can condense the moisture in the air into a small sphere of water. And this is where we start becoming in water, earth, and firebenders. I think the reason they've done this as well is because everyone was disappointed that the spell control water, is it, or something like that, in D&D
Yeah.
doesn't allow you to become a waterbender, and everyone was like, but I really want to do it. It's like, what do you do? Well, I use
No,
control water and I just attack this. It doesn't work like that.
no,
And everyone's like, no!
I think it was we thought it worked in ways that we didn't, so every time we tried to use control water, we were disappointed.
Yeah, because every time you used to control water, I would turn around to you and be like, it's not how it works.
And then we'd spend 10 minutes trying to find another solution.
Yeah,
Everybody just wants to be an avatar.
basically. Did you see in the news, they found an iceberg that has I'm assuming it's like one of those organisms that makes like water glow when you touch it and stuff. But they found an iceberg that was glowing bright blue, and all of the comments were just like, "Well, we know where this is going." So we'll see, won't we? Like,
Right?
Yeah.
there's also been a lot more talk. Off topic again. There's also been talk of UFO, like confirmed UFO information now, apparently.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that was like ages ago. But they said it when everybody was focused on other things, so they could just kind of sweep it under the rug.
And now those people who were focused on other things have gone, hang on a minute, you said something about aliens.
Yeah.
Let's come back to that subject. It's like, no, there's other more important stuff. Like, no. You said aliens. We definitely heard you. Yeah. Also watched a great BBC documentary the other day.
Mhm.
Andrew Tate grooming the world.
What?
It's called
Oh, boy.
Andrew Tate grooming the world. So I'm not going to go too much into it because this isn't really the place for this sort of thing. But basically, there's this guy, Andrew Tate, who has what is essentially a cult, from what I
Uh,
can understand, and that's my perspective.
all right,
I do
them.
know a lot of people, there are a lot of people who are fans of Andrew Tate and whatever else. That is entirely up to them, which is why we're not going to go into it. It's a very
Like what you
divided.
like. Just don't bully
Yeah,
other people for liking what they like.
yeah. That's what we would say here. Andrew Tate's not for me. That's fair enough. If anyone else is a fan of Andrew Tate, then that's up to you. And so that we can get back onto topic, we will go with the next spell, which was suggested by Spring.
Yes, because up until then I felt like these spells were like more basic, so I just went with puppeteering. You've mastered the art of manipulation and control. Target a creature you see within range you see. The target makes an intelligence save. On a fail, they'll carry out one action you request of them in the fastest and easiest way possible. The spell fails if you or a party member injure the target.
I can fully imagine that with that fastest/easiest way possible,
Yes.
that's going to lead to a lot of chaos.
Yes, that's exactly why I wrote that.
Like, fastest and easiest way possible. We need to accrue a lot of money. I'm gonna rob a bank.
Exactly. I was like, be careful what you wish for.
I do like that because that's got that little element of like it gives the Fate or Game Master the chance to just mess around with the characters a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then after that, I went to sleep, so everything else is from Frost.
And me.
And you, yes.
So me and Frost then went on to a discussion basically saying that because we're going past level 20, spells could be higher than level 9.
Mm.
Which is interesting because they then posted a screenshot saying about one of the spells in D&D, which I don't people might have more information on this than me, because although we do play via D&D mechanics, we play pretty much mostly homebrewed campaigns with our own variations of their rules.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just because I think we enjoy that a bit more than me constantly having to reference lots of reference materials. And I personally feel it leads to a more organic environment. I feel that, characters react more like their characters if they're not having to constantly check like inventory sheets. We still have to keep an eye on it, but you're not constantly having to stare at your character sheet.
Oh yeah.
In our other campaign where we've been doing it for like 2.5, 3 years, not looking at character sheets as much because you pretty much know your characters at that point. Um, but definitely in newer campaigns when you're getting to know your character and you're learning what they can do and stuff, it's always a bit, to me anyway, a bit of a hassle to just constantly be looking at my sheet all the time. But yeah, we saw this thing about do 12th level spells exist? And so it's Karsus Avatar. The only 12th level spell ever created, this incantation enabled Karsus to steal the power of a deity, which is really impressive. All notes and information developed by Karsus regarding the casting of this spell were destroyed by Mistra, successor of Mistril. So to me, that means there was an idea for a 12th level spell to be included in the game, and someone kind of went, that seems too powerful.
And
So
when you now die.
The banhammer has descended upon the innocent.
So we went a step further and just went, yeah, let's go to level 15.
Oh, you think 12 is too bad? Oh no, oh sweetie.
That wasn't the reason. It just makes sense. If you can go beyond level 20, surely your abilities have to grow it like with that as well. But yeah, so like apparently there was, and I mean, maybe at some point they'll release information about it. Maybe at some point, you might find. But from what I can understand, this basically means that it is part of the lore. So it is like it it's a tale that is told, but there is no actual spell that exists that is above 9th level.
Yeah. Okay.
Which we discussed a little bit. And
Yeah,
then
we did.
Frost, you said about dragons being the only things you can bond with, which I said yes. But you can still have like pets and mounts. You're just not bonded with them.
And that is totally because recently we finally wore Okami down into having pets in the.
But it's because I accidentally started giving people. Well, I didn't accidentally. We had perfect reasons for giving people. We didn't. We had perfect reasons for
Yeah,
giving people
it's
pets.
like the first was from my character actually, that it was the joke that the pet had a pet because I play a tabaxi, and so they gave me a useless cat that I now have, and then everybody started getting pets.
You have Cookie the cat, which does nothing.
Yes.
And the only
They're
reason we
lit-
gave it to him was because everyone kept referring to him as like the group pet because he was the tabaxi. And
and also the healer and support that did everything.
but everyone, like very much like in this campaign, everyone wanted to try and keep you safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why does
Like,
this always happen to me?
so basically it was like, oh look, they've brought the pet along with them. And then there was Spring's character just there like, I am not the fucking pet. So I was like, okay, I will give you a pet. So then the pet has a pet.
Yeah. Basically.
And then because I gave them a pet, who was the next person I gave a pet to?
I think it was. I think you didn't give anyone else anything until last two sessions.
I held out for a long time. I'm not
You
gonna.
for a very long time. And then
I
you had so many cute creatures, and everybody went, well, now you have to give us a pet.
No, I
Yeah.
think it was like we went to somewhere where there's everything from any point of time, and then Lula, like someone from that campaign, started posting like tiny magical cute creatures, and
Yeah.
so everyone went, "I want," and so the DM had to because they technically existed.
Yeah, that was the main. You went to an ongoing event that we have, which is the Fiesta del Tempo Festival of Time, and it's basically its own pocket reality outside of time where heroes from across the entire timeline of existence, past, future, present, are basically brought together to celebrate and be able to relax and to be able to purchase the finest goods from across the land. And there is obviously a place where druids can go to forage for materials, which is like an endless woods. And obviously, because it was an endless woods and because it's everything from across all of time, and some druids and things, you might need certain items from certain animals, not necessarily like organs or anything, but even if it's just like the fur or the horn or something that you need from that animal. So I was like, so they've all got to be there. And then it was just a case of, yeah, they exist. So I can't actually say, no, you can't have them because they are available to purchase. That is, they are here for that reason.
So we all say our thank you to Lula, the girl that goes on Pinterest like 20 hours a day and finds everything for us.
So they all got pets. And so because of that, we had to kind of go, well, yeah, you can have pets, you just can't bond with them.
I
Like
think
they can still become your friend, but you can't.
no, not everyone has pets. Mwaka decided they didn't want.
Yes, that is true. Yeah,
In case every
May's
yeah.
character decided that they didn't want a pet. However, I did specify that all of these pets are useless.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are just cosmetic.
Yeah, basically, they're just a cosmetic upgrade.
Ah, I feel mean saying that.
But it's true because
Yes.
the idea is your dragons are like, you don't need anything else. You just need your weapons. Oh, that's a point. We're going to have to go over dragon weapons and how to create them.
Oh.
That just reminded me. Your weapons, your dragon weapons,
An
and
umbrella.
your dragons is basically, oh, and some decent armor is basically what you need to be able to survive pretty much anything in this world.
Oh, yeah.
Then Frost, you suggested.
My first spell I suggested is called Mythos Shift. For a limited of time equal to your level, you shift a known mythical creature or being, depends on how well you know the myth they are from. You would make a check for this. Later
Yeah.
levels, you could take the physical form of a divine, but harness none of their power.
Which I like because there has always been, seated in any type of thing like this, there has always been people who, have claimed to be able to take on some form of the divine. And people who are of higher faith, especially, with things like this, with the mytho shift, they would be able to be like, look, join my church. I can physically channel the divine through me. I have none of the power, but I can take on their form. Also, it could just be used just to trick people. You can imagine as you're walking down the street one day and you're like, oh my god, that is a god.
Yeah.
A practical use, and then shenanigans.
Basically, yeah. Practical use, you could use it to intimidate people. Like, depending on the check, when you're at a higher level, if you do a good enough check, it could intimidate people, depending on which god you take. Or alternatively, if you're somewhere like a village or something and you take on the form of a goddess or god that they worship, then they might suddenly start bringing you offerings or things like that because they'll think that you are that goddess or god.
Yep.
Which would be really interesting.
And confusing.
Yeah.
Yep. It's fine because you'll just turn into Chris.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or somebody else.
For context to everyone, Chris is basically the Terry of our other campaign.
Chris is the original Terry.
Yes.
Let's give the credit to where the credit is due. Chris is the original birthplace of where Terry came from.
Yes.
Because I had Chris in the other campaign, and then he he was basically such a beloved character by the players that they turned around to him and they were like, are we going to have something like Chris in this campaign, please? Because we just love the way he is. And I was just like, do you know what? Yeah, go for it.
Wait,
Let's
was Terry not going to exist if we didn't do that? Wow.
not necessarily, but he wouldn't have been as prominent of a character.
Ah, okay.
Like he was definitely going to be in there somewhere just for the reference, like the inside reference of, like I would do the voice and use it, oh my God, Chris, and I'd be like, no, it's Terry. But then because all of the players were like, we need the Chris like character in this campaign. We just need him now. So I was like, okay, let's give him a bit of a more important role to play. Let's pop him in there and see how it goes. And now it appears he is amassing a following.
Fun fact, it's because of Chris that Nye, my character in the other campaign, is doing anything with them.
Fun fact: Chris wasn't even supposed to exist in the other campaign.
Oh dear.
They were, but they weren't. Like it was they were supposed to exist, but I gave them to May's character, Moaka, um, because they did a quest and they had certain rewards, and I was like, I want to try and tempt them away from the reward that they want to pick. So I turned around and I was like, you can have the Cloak of Manta Ray, something else, or this little blue crab. And they were like, what's special about the crab? And I was like, you don't know, but he does keep telling you that he used to be a person. Like, he used to be a human and he was cursed, and he needed you to help him break his curse. But that was all that was said about it, and that little bit of intrigue was enough to get them to go, I'm taking the crab.
Yeah.
And instantly I was like, yes. And then obviously because I don't know, Chris's personality is just very, he does not give a fuck. Like, you could ask him a question and he will either give you the most obvious answer or the most stupid answer.
Oh yeah.
And that's what started Chris off. And then other people met Chris, and there were little bonds formed. He stole part of a character. He literally stole part of one of the
Oh,
players. He stole part of
right.
his hoof and he wears it as a crown.
Oh, dear.
And in return, that character still owns, even though that character has retired, that character still owns Chris's leg. Like, he has led people on many adventures.
One
I
adventure that I specifically remember happening, Chris went on a limbo competition with against other people, like this tiny crab beating everyone at limbo because he is tiny and everyone else is like,
Yeah,
taller than a fucking crab.
he stands like 2 inches off the floor at his max height. And everyone was drunk, and so somehow, through the charismatic charm of Chris, he managed to convince them to a limbo competition.
And also the character, because the character had stupid charisma, as we later found.
Which, but it was just it was just basically he was gonna win. It was definitely edged bets. Like that no that because I explained it and I was like, there is no way a human would physically be able to limbo under a bar, like limbo dance under a bar that is 2 inches off the floor or less, because he can go lower. So he won the limbo competition, obviously, and now who is it? May's character or Frost's character has gold, which is Chris's. It is Chris's gold.
it's my character. It's on my character sheet still. I have a Chris's gold and it's 12 gold.
Because he won 12 gold from the limbo competition, as you
Yeah.
do.
And he didn't have anywhere to put it. My character was just getting up for the day. And I was like, I'll carry it for you. Because
And he was like,
that's
oh yeah,
Lunas. No, yeah.
oh yeah, that'd be great. I mean, I can't really fucking keep it on myself, can I? Not really got pockets. I believe was along the lines of what Chris said.
Yeah, basically.
But yes, so Terry is an aspect of Chris.
It's a fragment of Chris, an alternate reality of Chris.
Basically, but he's not the same as Chris. I have to emphasize that a lot.
Alternate realities can differ the personalities of the characters.
Oh, the personalities are virtually the same.
Oh, then
Like
never
Terry does
mind.
not give a fuck.
As he does, I don't know if is that episode still up. But I
All the episodes are still up that have been released.
well,
It's not like
wow.
I post them and then take them down.
No, thanks.
You
I was
have access
just
to this for 3 weeks. That is it.
I was just wondering if the episode I'm thinking of has already been posted.
If it is within the last 3 weeks, probably not. I say 3
You
weeks,
ex
but 6
you
weeks
ex
because we do
you
it every other week.
expect me to remember.
This is what you have notes for.
Wow. Yeah, I only started them last session.
Just releasing that information to the public there. Like, yeah, I only started keeping notes last session, even though at the start of these sessions I specifically said to everyone, I will be keeping my notes. You all need to keep your own notes because although May keeps very good notes, I can't expect them to keep notes for every campaign they're in, which is what they appear to do.
Yes.
So even though we specified that, Spring only started taking notes last week.
Spring is disorganized, but we love them.
Oh, definitely. Like, I would not change Spring for the world. Like,
Don't you just love me and the 1 hour I take to do a battle?
maybe not the last bit, but the first bit, possibly. Um, But like, I wouldn't, and I understand everyone has such chaotic lives, and that's why sometimes we have technical errors, we have other things, we have a good laugh and joke with each other. But they will get back on top of their notes, won't they, Spring?
Yes, I'm already writing the diary. I won't lose the diary because it's literally on my character sheet, and if I lose my character sheet, it's going to be painful. Even though on the non-recorded campaign, I did almost lose one of the fucking sheets.
Yeah, but it wasn't so. When we did our last session, we had a few players who weren't able to join us. So because we had a very small group, and the main campaign couldn't really be done with that small of a group, we did a one-shot side quest. I'm definitely going to use the concept of the one-shots when we do the one-shots for the lotteries for Patreon subscribers. Obviously, just looping back here, Spring also mentioned about diaries and stuff, and we will be releasing like diary to Patreon subscribers as well. So there is going to be a lot of content coming up.
Oh yeah.
Which is going to be amazing. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we will be releasing diary entries and so forth to those who have subscribed.
Oh, definitely. And if you've subscribed to that certain character's content.
Yes.
Yeah, because we have discussed having, and I think we've mentioned this previously in a session, but we've discussed having tiers of similar value, or well, actually the same value is what we've said, but with different content inside it. So
I think
you will get more content for the higher levels, but
I
if there's
I
things you don't want,
I think that was mentioned last session, but of course that session isn't up yet.
yeah, that's true.
So
So
this
that's the
is
fun part of this. This is the first behind the scenes, but we're already 10 sessions in, and this is
Yeah.
going to be released before episode 8. Which is why I'm saying we have to be really careful about if we're discussing the campaign, because the people listening to this will have either heard episode 8 or they won't have heard episode 8, depending on which order they watch them in.
yeah.
So go watch our content, damn it. I don't want to have to keep tabs on what I say.
Fine, because as I said, so this will be releasing, episode 8 will be releasing, then we've got 9 and 10. In that time, we'll have recorded 11. So we're about 3 or 4 weeks away from going live.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I don't have to think anymore.
And I have to try and figure everything out to see if my computer can handle it. Which hopefully it can. If not, it's probably going to be more like an audio podcast than a live thing.
Well,
But we will also be recording it to release it.
if we do go live, I might think about cosplaying Zion for the campaign.
I have a
Oh.
cloak ready to go.
Oh, I wish I had
I
that
won't be
amount.
wearing a mask, but I do have a cloak. I've decided against the mask for the time being.
Hmm.
But I will have my cloak, as ever.
I wish I had that amount of money anyway.
What, for a cloak?
No, for anything.
These were bought ages ago.
Yeah. I
The only reason I got away with getting the cloak was because I got it as part of a Jedi costume, and the only reason I got away with buying a Jedi costume was because my partner wants to go trick-or-treating with our daughter. So I turned around and I was like, if I'm going trick-or-treating, I need a costume. And I was like, there's a really good deal here for like Jedi robes, and I've got a lightsaber, so we won't have to buy anything else for my costume. Plus, the lightsaber's bright enough to be a torch, so safety and everything. So I very sneakily got away with being able to buy a Jedi costume, and I also said I can rewear it every year because I don't mind being a Jedi every year.
Yeah.
Halloween has now been renamed I Get to Be a Jedi Day.
Basically, pretty much.
Halloween's my birthday, so
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now we're going to have
At least it's not a
celebrated
holiday where people give each other presents, I suppose.
Yeah.
I have a birthday. My birthday is 10 days before Christmas.
At least it's
Oh,
not on Christmas, though.
Yes, that would be fucking awful.
Growing up
I
as
had
a kid, my birthday was always brilliant because it was right in the middle of the year. So I would go like from my birthday to Christmas, I would have enough new toys to play with, and then at Christmas I'd get new toys to last me until my birthday.
Ah,
So mine worked out quite well.
how does
Plus,
that feel? Like,
really, really good because also I can turn around and when people ask me what my birthday is, just 24/7. It's all the time. Which I just think is great.
oh right, we were talking about spells or something, right?
We were.
we were. So it's
Oh.
so as here, everybody, we do this not only in session, but anytime we're on a voice call.
Yes.
This happens.
This is just our package deal. If you want to listen to us, you have to be ready for us to talk about not the thing that we were supposed to be talking about.
Yep. But that's why we say we meander, because we do still stay slightly on topic. They do all still have this overarching, like, main driving force. But at the same time, we do go off topic a lot.
Oh, definitely.
But hopefully that's what makes it appealing, because then it's not like a strict, there is this. You know, it's like a, yeah, let's have fun while we do this.
Let's enjoy ourselves.
That's what
Oh
life's
yeah.
about. So, Frost, you then suggested another spell.
I said my next spell was float. It's limited flight for a limited amount of time.
30 seconds. Literally enough time for you to take off. How like annoying would that be? It's just, I have float, I can fly for a limited amount of time. Oh, how long's that? 30 seconds. What help is that? I can float.
I can stop myself from dying if I fall off a building.
Oh, trying to come in with a clutch save there. Imagine you're falling and then you have to realise when the right time is to start casting the spell before you hit the ground.
Oh dear.
Cast it at the wrong time and just rise up ever so slightly more like, no! Yeah, that's quite a good one. I like ones like that because, you know, as pointed out by Spring here, that can be used in lots of situations. It's versatile.
Well,
The
I
other
also
thing. Oh, sorry.
I also thought that it because there are spells that you could use at different levels. So I
Mhm.
figured it didn't like elaborate and kind of lock it down into a spell. It could kind of be used at any level and have varying
Yeah.
times.
So, like, if you're a higher level, I'm assuming you get longer time that you can fly.
Yeah.
Much with a lot of these other things, you know, they have the sort of like increased ability at high level. I one thing I like about some of the spells that we're coming up with is I don't just want it all to be like combat based. Because you know it has to have that variety to make it appealing.
Oh yeah.
Yes, especially for a character like Toto. Like everything's damaging. Well, what do I choose then?
And then I don't mind reading out some of these you've suggested as well if you wish, Frost, because Frost went on a suggestion spree.
I did. I did. You can read the next one.
So find companion. Not to be confused with the D&D find
Sure.
companion. You find your party member within a certain radius, depends on the level cast, and connection to member you're looking to find. Each roll a flat d20 unless the opposing chooses to auto-fail against being found, if companion level isn't established. So I'm assuming that's, if you don't know, your companions level, everyone rolls a flat d20?
No,
Or-
I'm like it's sort of like a friendship level kind of thing.
Oh.
So this could
So
either go very well or very badly.
exactly. So like if the person casted, say it was like Radel to Totu, Radel would be able to find Totu pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty easy.
In a heartbeat.
But if it was like Radel to say Tior, I think
Drogath.
they're or Drogath.
I think it's
Uh,
everyone with Drogath. That's a joke.
Oh,
Drogath is a
no.
very loved and welcomed character.
Yeah.
I just don't know how well his bonds with, like, how he sees his bonds with other characters is.
I don't think he necessarily. Well, the vibe that I'm going to talk from Zion's point of view. I don't think
Then you-
Zion. I don't think to Zion Drogath is wanting to connect with anybody really. So yeah.
It's a very valid point.
Well, he wanders off, and he's like, and then he kind of doesn't really listen to the others' ideas or points.
I do think that he does care for the other characters, though. That's the
Oh.
thing. I think
Yes.
because of who he is at this point, people are aware. You know, half orc, Badlands,
Bloodlands, not Badlands.
Bloodlands.
Wow, you don't know the name of your own continent, shame.
Well, no, it's because it is the Badlands. It is called the Bloodlands, but it is the Badlands. You do not want to go there. It is bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So I think that's why they're a bit more reserved than other characters have been. So when it says like if companion level isn't established,
Basically, it could be early on, or if this character hasn't really had a chance to bond with this character. Yeah. So, like, coming into it, again, to use Totu and Radel. Radel and Totu are very close. So their companion level would definitely be established.
right? Okay, so what happens if the companion level isn't established?
That is when they would roll the d20. And basically,
So
that's
is
the
it
flat.
is it like a check against each other? So they both roll a flat d20. If the person trying to find them is higher, they will find them. If the person who is being found rolls higher, they can't be found.
Exactly. And then the companion level would give you a plus towards that check. So
Okay.
like
So the higher you are, the very much more likelihood there is you will find that person.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Now obviously if we include that, we would have to have like a friendship system in place for characters.
I
But
think it won't necessarily be an extra like we could put that in as like a substat.
yeah, I wasn't saying it would be like it's different stat or anything. It would just be like a chart sort of thing.
Yeah. I like it. Let's go back to the spells. Are you reading the next one?
Yeah, I can do that one. Enhanced senses. I thought this was kind of self-explanatory. You can roll a d6 for a limited amount of time, and then for the to figure out how long that would be, you would roll a d12. The d6 would kind of tell you what sense ends up being like enhanced.
So it is completely down to chance then, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way to like be able to pick specifically? Hello, Rose.
There we are. Sorry about that.
I like kind of bring it up. to like a sort of wildness
Okay.
of it.
Yeah.
And higher level casted, higher levels. If you cast it on higher levels, you could add d6s and d12s. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what would happen, like, so if you roll, say, like a d6 and another d6, do two of your senses get enhanced? And what
Yes.
happens if you roll the same thing twice?
What
Like,
happens if you roll?
very unlikely, but say you rolled two that were taste. Do you suddenly have, like, superhuman taste?
Um,
They
I
went
would.
that way 5 miles at dawn. How do you know? I can taste it in the air.
I would say, yeah. I would say if you get the same one, that would be up to fate whether or not you just re-roll, or if it is like an extra enhanced state.
That would be awful for hearing.
That would.
You can
No,
hear a
that's
pin
fair.
drop 5,000 miles away. Someone next to you. Hello. Ah.
I know. Ah!
Uh, but yeah. So just for those who are not aware, obviously Rose has joined us. I did say hello, Rose.
No.
They are going to be a player after some discussion with this.
Oh yeah.
And they are also the official merchandise creator.
Yep. Still working on the official dice, but it should be.
Well,
They
we said
should
we've
be
seen
ready to go.
some. Well, we said you've shown us some examples of sort of like works in progress and stuff. We have had discussions about like creating other bits as well. So it's all on the way. Obviously, we can't expect everything all at once, as I'm sure
No.
many people are aware. But it is all slowly coming together, along with the additional content we are providing in terms of things like this. So this is, as I explained at the very start, this is like an example of what we will be providing people as a behind the scenes. It will link in with Riders of Fate. It will link in with random stuff. Lots of random stuff. And it will link in with parts of this campaign. And obviously, as this campaign is, people listening to this will have only either heard up to episode 7 or up to episode 8, depending on if they decide to listen to this after or before episode 8. So we can't give any spoilers for episode 7 or 8, which I think is fine for Rose, because Rose wasn't one of the players at that stage.
Nope.
So fun and games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I am
So
still working on my character. Still
that's
trying to
fine.
figure out the stats and everything.
That's fine. It can be a little confusing.
Oh yeah.
If you need any help, just let us know.
Yeah, that is
We
something I'm going to need help with, especially since this is a technically homebrew race.
That's fine. We should have. What I realized the other day was we should have recorded. We did a 2 hour to 2.5 hour stint, maybe a bit below.
Like a
Where
2 to 3 hour thing where we helped
B, who will be joining us as well, I will just call them B,
Yeah.
create their character, because we do have 2 more characters to join on the horizon. They have not yet joined, but they are in the process.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we like 2 to 3 hours, and we had chucked together a fairly usable character sheet. The only thing they needed to do was create their stats. But they have an experienced D&D player helping them, so it's not too much of a problem.
yeah. Meanwhile, around me, I don't have anybody who's super experienced or anything like that.
I will refer you to Spring, Frost,
What?
Mosaic, May, myself. Hector.
Yeah, given what you want for your character, I would definitely reach out to May.
Yes, I did also make May aware of the type of character you're trying to create, and they have said they will help you when they are available to, if you just drop them a message.
Oh yeah.
If you are still looking to create that type of a character.
Yeah, I'm this right now I'm just really interested in actually making a centaur type character.
Ah, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, that's why we're pointing them in the direction of May.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
In a
think
different
that would be interesting.
campaign, May played a centaur.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's either going to be like a normal centaur or a dracotar.
Is that the dragon one?
Yes.
I believe I said that may or may not be. You wouldn't have the wings.
Okay. That's fine.
So I don't know how this would work.
Well, I was thinking like small wings, not quite enough for flight, but enough for like gliding.
No, you just wouldn't have the wings.
Okay, that's fine.
You can travel probably like 2 or 3 times the top speed of any of the other people in your campaign. You do not need to be able to fly.
Okay. That's fine.
We're gonna loop back to what we were doing just before or while Rose joined. Oh, if you direct yourself, Rose, to the Riders of Fate Patreon exclusive area, you will see we are going over and basically rough drafting spells for our tabletop RPG, Riders of Fate. We've just been this is where we will be posting a lot of the updates, the important stuff for this work in progress, and then when it is released, which hopefully we can do, it will have all of this content within it. We've also said that people who are listening to us, if you have access to the Riders of Fate in progress with the Patreon, if you suggest spells, we might tweak them slightly, but we will include them in the Riders of Fate end work. So you can have
Yeah.
your chance to literally turn around to people and be like, I created that spell. And I
Yeah.
think under each spell, we will actually put like credit to. So
So
Hell yeah.
if like y'all have different colors for different spells too, I can make dice based off of those spells.
there we go.
Gonna say like how some people make Eldritch Blast colored dice, or I think Leon is another
If
one.
if people are subscribing to that level, because I think that's one of the higher tiers, if I'm correct.
It's the highest.
It's the
I believe
highest.
For
If
the
people,
Riders of Fate.
if people are subscribing to that, I will subsidize the cost for them to have one dice of their choosing, like a D1, not D1, D2, D4, D6, D8, D, whatever, made in a style for their spell.
Okay.
Because I think you get a dice that represents your spell, and you get the created by as well. As long as
Oh,
our merchandiser is happy with that.
Yeah.
all right.
I just think that adds a little bit, you're going to subscribe and we're going to give you credit for your spell, and they're saying they could create dice that represent the spell.
Yeah.
If people are subscribing to that level and they're paying that amount, for each month, I would happily, subsidize the cost for whichever dice of their choosing that could represent their spell.
I do believe that we talked about for riders as well that we're gonna have dragons and their dice in the boxes that we ship out, right?
So I believe Rose has actually managed to 3D print a movable articulated dragon.
Yes, it's still a work in progress as far as getting it to stay together.
Okay, that's
But
fine. Obviously, this
um,
is, you know, this is going to be merchandise that will become available later on.
yeah,
But I have been in talks with them to say, and I think others of us as well, you know, we could create a 3D printed version of the original dragons from Riders of Fate and also someone else's dragon from Riders of Fate.
Yeah.
So, um, that would be quite good. Obviously, again,
once
still
I
works in progress.
yes, once I master getting this dragon put together and actually staying together, and having working wings as well, because that's been the part that's been the holdup right now.
Wings are always hard.
Especially when they print in two halves of top and bottom of the wings, and you have to try to connect them through a little tab mechanism, and the tabs don't want to go in the holes because the holes decide to fill themselves up with resin and harden.
Nice.
And
So sounds like a joyful time.
eh,
But yes, so that's possible in the future. But we have also discussed doing dice themes that are based on the dragons as well, I believe.
yes. Plus, if I can get my hands on a filament printer, I can print articulating dragons, the print and place ones,
Nice.
um, like the little Eastern ones that you probably see everywhere else.
Not really, but I'll say yes. I think I know what you mean, but yeah, this is stuff that is hopefully going to be coming in the future.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
we went on another tangent, guys.
Uh,
We only have 2 more spells and we keep going.
I'm gonna dive into the next one before this. Speak languages. For a limited amount of time, you can speak a person's mother language that you communicate with. While conversing with this spell, you can understand what their answers to you are, but only their answers. So, hang on, I just want to clarify this before I finish reading this description. Does that mean if they start offending you in their native language, you will not understand, but if they're offending you while they're giving you an answer, you will understand the answer?
Okay,
So,
so
like,
basically, the idea of as I was typing that up is if you're talking to like a certain person, but they have someone off to the side that they were talking to, you can
that's
understand the conversation you're having with that person, but you can't understand the conversation that they were having.
okay. Just because I just had this image of, like, basically someone talking to you, you not understanding the first bit, which is them, like, cussing you out, and then going, yeah, the apples are over there, and then cussing you out again for being like a stupid idiot for not seeing the apples. Um, and you just being stood there like, oh, thank you, the apples are over there, having no clue what else they've said.
Yeah. No, the idea is you can understand them while they're talking to you, but if they talk to somebody else before you ask another question, you don't understand what they're saying to that person.
Which does go on in spells work. Spell works best during a one-on-one conversation, but can work with multiple people if you can remember what each person says.
Yeah.
So if you're talking to 2 people, it is very much a focus thing of which one are you paying attention to to get the answers that you're after.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, that's cool. Really funny if they start talking to each other and you can't understand them. Oh, they're cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rose has just posted in our partners in crime, which only we have access to. Um, They've posted a really cool 3D printed little.
Yeah.
It's a dragon egg with a dragon.
Yes, those are the ones I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about.
just opened up a.
Element printer, I can print
Oh, that's.
those.
How
But I
dare
have
In
to
other
you,
words,
my
people start subscribing to our Patreon
yeah.
and channel and stuff so that we can afford to get Rose a filament printer so that we can start printing these little dragon eggs and things from the campaigns to send out to you.
Yeah.
How dare you know my weakness, tiny dragons. I love them. I want him.
That is the message I am getting here. I'm not pushing the Patreon on people, but
I know, you mean like, come
the
on.
more but we're gonna look at this, you know, from a logistical point of view here. The more subscribers we get, the more fans we get, the more content we can produce for you. It's that is how it works essentially. So
definitely.
if you enjoy the episodes, if you want more content like this, definitely, you know, like, share, subscribe, tell the world about us.
Yes.
And it will also give you the chance to higher levels of the Patreon. You know, if we're getting more subscribers, whatever else, and we're able to make more from this, we can lower the prices of those tiers for you so that, you know, we can have all of you with access to all of the stuff or what you want access to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can always come up to our Patreon and send us a message if you want some specific things, and we might do something for you.
Well, we've definitely discussed having customizable packages.
How the fuck are we going to do that? I have no idea.
So we will put it on there as it will just say, it will come up with a name for it in regards to that tier that it is on the same level as. And there will be an amount of items that you will be able to choose from. And you will have a maximum amount of items that you can pick for
Yeah.
each tier. And then you can literally choose which bits you want and which bits you don't want.
Yeah.
And all it will be is you will message our official email message
There is a message
so that
on
we can,
Patreon itself.
yep, so that we can let us know what you want from that tier. We can make sure that, you know, it's that tier you've chosen and paid for, and we can then send you the content you want and put you in the areas where you want to be.
Yeah.
So, and with the amount of characters we now have, we're going to have a fairly sizable chunk of content we can create.
Oh, definitely.
Mhm.
I think we discovered it was 7 or 8.
Before it was 8. Now it's going to be 10, counting Terry.
We don't count Terry.
Then 9.
Why is everyone counting Terry? How is it 9?
No, it. What do you mean? How is
Not,
it 9?
it's not. It's not 9.
Wait, 1, 2,
Frost,
3.
Spring, Rose, Drogath.
Yes, it is
B.
9.
Is it?
Yeah.
B doesn't have a
Rosa, B,
I said Rose
Mosaic.
already. I said,
No,
but I'm
yes, but
pretty
I'm
sure I said
counting. But I'm
Mosaic.
counting myself.
Oh, okay.
Me, Rosa, Frost, Mosaic, May, Hector, uh, Bjorn, uh, Lula, and B.
Lula's not joining.
Oh, I thought she was.
No,
Then 8. Whatever.
no, Lula's not joining. I'm not going to go into it on the podcast. It's their personal stuff. But essentially, they have made me aware that they are probably not going to be able to join either campaign at the moment, unfortunately. Because they were set to rejoin us in the Riders campaign as well, but unfortunately are not going to be able to.
Okay, so then it's 8.
I said 8 or 7. I wasn't sure. I was basically there.
No, yeah, no,
Um,
yeah. I was just still counting with Lula, so that's why I said 9.
Yeah, no,
Or 10.
unfortunately they're not able to join us.
Or 10
Which
with Terry.
Terry does not count as a character.
Well, some people
Terry,
might have
Terry, Terry is me,
some people
which
might
means
have some strong things to say about that.
yes, but Terry is me, which means there's not. It's not one of. It's not someone else playing them. Terry
There
is
are
definitely a character. Sorry,
people.
Frost. What were you saying?
People do DM characters.
In what aspect?
And Terry already has
I
a
am a
DM,
DM.
so
I am
like,
already a character.
No, like they have player characters. And the way they make it fair is they just let the players know what's on the character sheet.
Terry is a tortoise. He does not have a character sheet. He is an envoy of the gods. He does not need a character sheet. He is not a character.
You
He
sure?
is a huge. I am positive. He is a huge part of what this has become. But he is not a character.
Darn.
He is the reason. He is Terry. I can't define him as a character because he doesn't actually do playable things. But I'm also not classifying him as an NPC because he's Terry. This is the issue I had when I was trying to classify Chris, because he's just Chris.
You made him an inventory item.
I had to because I couldn't figure out what else to do with him. I wasn't willing to stoop down to call Chris a pet. And I couldn't class him as like anything else, and they were like, so where do I put him? And I was like, just put him in your inventory.
Yeah.
Which is essentially the same with Terry. He is a miscellaneous inventory item.
He lives in Zion's pocket.
Which Hector keeps note of.
Yes.
Not
Wait,
concerning at all.
that's not from a session that's uploaded yet.
That's fine. They're not gonna
Okay,
know much else.
fair enough. So I guess keep on the lookout for when that session happens for some reason if you want to see that in action, question mark.
It's fine. It didn't actually lead to a spoiler until you said anything towards that, because I just said Hector
Well,
keeps note of it
we can cut that part out then.
up to this bit.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
It's fine. That's this whole thing is organic. It's fine. All they
Yeah.
know is Hector keeps note of Terry.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's just a super fan,
Oh
of course,
my
clearly. What?
It was posted
There
in.
literally just said, "Speak of the devil, and they shall appear in partners in crime."
Oh,
Are they listening to it? How can they be listening to us?
hello? Oh no, I think it's because I said tiny devil.
Oh, I get. Yeah, no, I get what that's in reference to. Okay. Do you know what I'm gonna do?
That was so lucky timing.
Now I'm sending a message.
Yes, you are.
Yep. Okay. Lol. I had to say to them. No spoilers. So we'll go back to the final spell from Riders of Fate.
All right, we are doing that still.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Wait,
So,
where's oh, I lost it. There it is.
the next one I'll let Frost do.
Okay. Fantasy. cast this on someone to make them see their wildest dreams as though they were coming true and have them completely focus on them. This would need a save, a spell DC, and some sort of check from the opposition. I couldn't.
don't think we have spell DC. We
Okay.
just have it as like a spell casting ability.
Okay.
Also, not sure if everyone is aware, this is going to probably be about the same length as a session.
Oh, is
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was hoping to try and get, if that's okay.
Sure.
Because the behind the scenes content and stuff we do, because it's on levels that people have to subscribe for, I want it to be just as much content as an actual session.
Okay.
Just because it's then I want everything we do to be as, worth it as the money is for.
Okay.
Just because I feel, if someone's willing to spend money to support us, I want them to get their
The
money's
good
worth
shit.
out of it. I want it to be worth subscribing and signing up for.
All right.
Go to our Patreon. Oh dear.
Back to the marketing, quick. So then I think we went on to discuss a couple of other bits. We
Right.
have a Bjorn.
Hello.
Hello.
How
Welcome,
has your existence been going?
What?
How has your existence been going?
Fun but tiring.
Mm.
Yeah, we've been discussing the Riders of Fate work that we're doing. We've been discussing various merchandise that we're looking into creating. Going off on random sidetracks as always. This is just like a behind the scenes essentially to, this is what else you can look forward to, and as a taste of what the people who do subscribe will be able to get access to as well.
Yeah.
So, pleasure to have you with us for this. I did say we are hoping it will be about a session's length. Obviously, if you can't be here for all of it, that's not a problem.
Oh yeah.
I will just end up being the rambling man talking to himself.
Yes, because I cannot keep a conversation for shit.
It's again fine. We love you.
I sometimes wonder why. But then I remember that I'm awesome and cool, and then I forget that I ever wondered.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on from that.
Love how the first bit of brainstorm spells is just elemental creation and control.
I
Elemental
was
creation and control is very important. Yes.
I was just that was me teasing May.
Yep.
As you can see with the listen or look rather.
Look. You've suddenly got an echo.
Don't know why it's doing that.
Oh, it's gone.
It might be me because I'm on my phone.
Maybe.
Ah.
Oh, am I back thanks to Rosa? They need more of my voice.
Your voice is very charming.
Oh, gee. Spring, very nice. Brownie points.
Okay.
Flattery gets you everywhere.
Yay? Question mark?
Oh dear. Is this a DNR message or I can read that one.
Which one?
Something about DM said we could include character sheets for character ideas for players. So kind of like the original character sheets that inspired the game.
Yeah.
Or the ones that you're going to playtest with, or both. And I think we could do both.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
They don't
going
have to be exactly like
Well,
your characters.
they're not going to be exactly because they're not different TTRPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to modify that originally inspired. As well as I guess the playtest one just be ready to go.
Yeah, we do them as like, this is an idea of what you could create. Probably chuck in a couple of random created ones as well. If we're just doing, like say a session where we all build a different character
And also
to
what we
show
could
how it would be done.
also what we could try is also make the characters from this campaign.
You
into-
could, I don't know whether that would be relevant, but you could.
It's
Yeah.
just a fun idea.
Yeah, I know. I think I get what Spring is trying to say. Like, are you trying to say it would make it logical for this game as
Uh,
well?
What? No, as in like the sheets.
Oh, okay. Just the sheets. Okay.
Uh, uh,
I'm lost.
so am I, and I was the one that suggested it. What?
So I think they were saying, is your suggestion that we could create the characters in the recorded campaign in a variation to Riders of Fate?
Yeah.
We could. And then if the original Spring and I have a circle and all its spells to modify. Yes, you do. But I think, bearing in mind, this would be like starting at low level. So we would just have to create something like the circle that you have within Riders of Fate.
Yes.
Which I think we did for the Druids anyway, because I'm sure we did like seasonal.
I don't remember, so you'd be the man to know.
I was for your other spells. I think that was mostly you were with we're gonna call them
We're gonna call them what?
Anne.
Yeah, no, I would have called them Darvaza.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
I didn't know.
they're
Well, because we've talked about gods and we've referred to Darvaza as a god, so I didn't know if you wanted to.
But I have explained that the gods in this campaign, the TerraForma campaign, are based off of the original players' characters from
Okay.
the Riders of Fate campaign. But obviously, we can still create like basic character sheets for them in the tabletop RPG Riders of Fate.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to have to do a lot of mental agility work here to keep up with this because there's a lot of different things we refer to.
Oh, definitely.
Apologies if you're listening to just relax. Now you got to do mental problems in your head as well.
haha. Sorry. Haha, sorry. I swear we are. Well, if you don't mind. What am I trying to say again?
I don't know.
I don't either.
You forget I don't have the ability to read your mind.
How dare you not have that? Please do.
That's May's job.
True, actually.
Yes, May speaks spring.
Yeah. Little fun fact, the species, race, background, everything that I'm currently playing as in Totu was created by me and May, because if it was only me, I wouldn't have created it.
I think that is something we should kind of look into as well, is like maybe like influences and stuff for your characters that you have at the moment, because at this stage players would have heard up to episode 7 or episode 8.
Yeah.
They have definitely experienced your characters, but we don't need to go into like backstories and stuff, but they don't really know a lot about, you know, how your characters came to be, so to speak.
Mm.
And as Spring was explaining, they put a lot of work into an intertwining backstory with May, and there's a lot of stuff there that we're gonna discover as we journey.
And something that is another fun fact about Toto and Ray, this is actually not their first campaign. It was used on a campaign that was then later on just stopped. And since both of us liked them, we just thought, you know what, screw it, let's use them here.
We'll just bring them across to this one. It's fine.
Yeah, we had to level them down, but still.
That's never a fun task. The other reason it's never a fun task, you're looking at it like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore.
Well, to be fair, I did lose the original sheet of Tochu.
I still go by my theory. You have incurred a curse somewhere in your life where you have, you know, D&D, but you are never able to find the correct character sheet for the session you are in.
Well, but I do. I think my curse is just shitty memory because I yeah, I have the worst memory possible, imaginable even.
Yeah. So, Bjorn,
Yeah.
what was your kind of what made you create Drogath? Like, was it just screw it, I'll go with this, or was it like actually I want to play something, you know, a bit more different?
Not really. It's just happened.
It happened. Good way to make a character.
True, actually. That's I'm going to be honest, that's also how Totu existed because I was just helping May create Ray, though, but then Totu kind of happened, and I don't remember how.
Just popped into existence one day, like I
No,
am here.
no, I don't. Because I was creating like NPCs because that's something that I sometimes do. But then I found a way to interconnect the idea of Totu that I had into May's backstory, and then it just kind of happened.
Started out as an NPC, got turned into a character. Interesting. Frost?
All right. For Zion. Zion was originally either going to be an elf or a tiefling. But I was helping Mosaic make their character sheet first, and we were looking for a reference for like what kind of lineage that Tior was going to be, because they were set on being a lineage from the get-go. And we found a picture of two lions booping their noses together, and one was black and one was white, and
That's
it
so
kind of
cute.
it inspired us to kind of uh, change from the choices we were stuck between to another lineage as well.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
For anyone listening, that is going to be a cuteness overload.
Yes.
It's so adorable.
Let me see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it?
Definitely didn't give me a new idea for art. What?
Oh yeah, we also discussed at one point we might look into making pin badges of each character and certain scenes. So now I just think we're going to end up with a pin badge of
Oh, definitely.
Sion into your news news
News.
nose bumping or booping each other. Jesus Christ.
Yes, we're definitely going to have that. And now that that
Eh.
idea is out in the open, I think I'd be put on a pitchfork if I didn't
We
do that.
don't get
You didn't do
artwork of
that.
that.
Yeah.
If we now don't get artwork of that, like, yep.
It's
Um,
going to be far into the future because I'm still getting better at drawing the Leonins because you know these two are the first lions I'm drawing. So
but it's fine.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so now, yeah. Yep, we've now got to create lions booping each other.
yes.
Have fun with that, Spring.
Oh, I
Yeah.
will.
Glad
And
you
we're
have fun.
probably going to end up with one of my Dracotar with the who's forget whose it
We're,
is, the real tiny dragon.
we're gonna have to
Oh hell yeah!
Little tiny dragon like sitting on top of the Dracotar's head or like sleeping
Hell
somewhere on
yeah!
the body.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
if you come across any tiny dragons, no spoilers allowed.
Just a
I mean,
sacrifice
we're
of
gonna
course.
have to we're gonna have to work out the sort of stats and stuff for this if it's a Dracotar, because
Yeah, that's what I need help with. Because I mean, I think it would have similar stats to that of a normal centaur, just maybe a little.
I suppose it would depend which type of dragon you're having the lower half of. Because the different types of dragons in D&D give you different, like, they have different resistances and stuff.
Yeah,
Because when
I
you
know.
look at, like, a Dragonborn, they
Yeah,
get, like,
that
different breath attacks and resist.
yeah.
So we'd
It's
have
gonna
to
be
factor that into it as
Dragonborn
well.
upper half and Dragon lower half, if that makes sense.
You're gonna look like some damn fucking freak of nature.
Oh, I totally thought this was going to be a centaur upper half and a dragon upper half.
Oh, I thought this was gonna be a human upper half and a dragon lower half.
I thought it was going to be a dragon all, but then with two hind legs.
No, well, I figured why not go unique and just have like a Dragonborn upper half, so that way the scales cover the whole body.
I mean, if such a
And
thing as a Dracotar were to exist, I would assume that would probably be the way it would be.
it'd seem a little more natural that way, I would think.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking of doing a green variation.
D&D, I think that's poison.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
It would be acid.
Oh, there you go. I knew it was one of the two.
It's either going to be green or red, but I wanted, well, green, red, or gold, but I kind of fell in love with
Aren't
the
red
green.
dragons evil?
Yeah, a lot of red dragons are evil, but I was trying to think of a way that her backstory would be that she wasn't raised by a red dragon.
I'm also still trying to figure out how a Dracotar comes into existence.
Magic.
Magic.
The only thing I can like imagine in my head is I have to mention this, but I am sorry for the people who have seen this. The Full Metal Alchemist episode.
no!
What do you mean no?
I have
No!
not.
You have not seen it?
I haven't.
No,
Don't watch
I,
it.
I
It's so
haven't
sad.
I haven't watched a lot of anime. I want to, but I just haven't had the chance to sit down and watch it.
The
Full
only
Metal
anime.
Alchemist is great, but there is an episode in it that will just break you.
Oh, that's lovely. I definitely haven't had many of those.
That seems to be like in almost all anime. They have an episode that just
Like this, there are memes about this and everything because it is just.
Oh, is it the it is raining?
No,
Is it
Is
that
it
it
that
is
one?
that's a
raining?
different
No.
Oh, okay. That's the only meme
thing.
I know from Full Metal. I think. Is it even the correct anime?
Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. That is the same anime. It's just not.
I'm definitely going to be looking it up.
The only anime that I've watched besides Pokemon is Assassination Classroom. Do with that information what you will.
Don't even know what
I
that is.
mean,
You
I've
should
watched-
watch Assassination Classroom.
watch Pokemon, Avatar: The Last Airbender, Dragon Ball Z, and Sword Art Online, and Fire Force, the most recent one.
I've seen Sword Art Online, A Cell World, which is really good. It kind of follows on from Sword Art Online, but it doesn't. Set in a similar world.
That gun one?
Huh?
Is that the gun one, or is that the one before the gun one?
It's not actually. It's not part of the Sword Art Online. Yeah, that. It's not part of the Sword Art Online story. It uses the same gear. So you know how Sword Art Online has that headpiece and stuff.
Yeah.
It's basically further into the future of that. So it's got similar technology and stuff. I would recommend watching A Cell World. The only thing is I don't think they've released all of the episodes. I think it stopped before it got to the whole main story arc thing, which was really upsetting. I need to check to see if they've released any more because it was so good. What else have I watched? I have watched Black Clover. I would recommend that as well. That's a really good one. Pokemon, but only
yeah.
a few episodes in the movie. The first movie.
I have watched everything of Journeys. Besides that, I know nothing. And Horizons as well. That is coming out.
But yeah. Generally tend to watch more Marvel stuff.
If you really want to fuck your emotions over for anime, there's Clannad and Clannad After Story.
I already
There's
knew
that-
that.
There's one that I keep seeing mentioned online, which is 2 films. But apparently it doesn't matter which order you watch them in, but depending which one you watch first, they have a different ending.
Yeah, that was recent. I haven't seen either one of those yet.
What?
So there's this, I don't know which film studio it is, but this film studio released 2 anime films, and you can watch them one after another, and it doesn't matter which one you watch first, but depending on which order you watch them in, it has a different ending.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Because it has different implications from the film before.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It's really
Yeah.
clever. But yeah, apparently it doesn't matter which order you watch them in. It still makes sense, but it changes the story slightly. But yeah. So Rose, are you joining us next session we do episode wise?
Hopefully, if I can get the stats on my character.
Well, we have a Bjorn, a Spring, a Frost, and a DM all here. I'm
Yeah.
sure with our accumulated
Brain cell.
knowledge, we could help you put this character stats last bits together.
With our accumulated brain cell, we can help you.
All right.
Okay. So we're gonna have to do some slight Dragonborn traits, and we're gonna have to do some slight Centaur type traits. I don't know if they're available, but let's see if they can send us the Centaur stuff.
Hey. Did any of you watch Pokemon Journeys?
I have
No.
not watched
Do it.
Journeys.
Do it.
I
I can
haven't watched Pokemon in a long time.
I can send you a link for Journeys. Do it. There's an episode that literally made me cry.
When Pokemon just hits you in the feels.
No,
Yeah, right.
but like, I think it's episode 48. No, not 48. 58. It's the one with fucking. I already forgot the name of the Pokemon. Jesus Christ, the one after Sobble. Drizzle, I think. Whatever the fuck.
I
Wow, I
don't
forgot the name.
know. Let's see what this one is. I sort of know. I mean, I'm original generation Pokemon. Like when the
Yeah,
Pokédex only went up to Mew
yeah,
or
no,
Mewtwo.
my first Pokemon game was Sword and Shield, so
Wow.
yeah. And I'm going to do something that most Pokemon fans are probably going to disagree with me. I actually prefer Sword and Shield over to the new games because I hate open world games.
There's the person who plays the largest open world game possible.
What? Besides this, of course.
Like you play D&D, which is definitely the
No,
largest
of course.
open world game ever.
Yes, but I don't play D&D for the open world experience. I play D&D for the social experience. But outside, like from video games, I despise open worlds. I just get lost in everything and I never complete them.
That's the point.
Yeah, that's the
I
point.
dislike. That's exactly why I dislike them.
That's like the whole point of the open world is so that you can lose yourself in the open world and come back to the campaign when you want.
But then I
In
never
video games,
do.
anyway.
But then I never do.
Fine, I'm pretty sure I'm over like 300 hours into Valhalla. I know they're releasing a new one soon, but when I was playing Assassin's Creed, and I have not got half of the shit done.
I want to get Boulder 3 for
I've seen some really good like reviews and things for
it.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Well,
Yes, so have I.
Non-sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, no sponsors.
We have no sponsors.
Imagine this is like our like ninth thing uploaded. We already have a sponsor. That is impossible.
Not impossible. It is seriously impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wants to sponsor us,
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
if anyone would like to sponsor us, I'm not going to say no.
of course. Of course. We're happy to help, Smile.
I would gladly do a character playthroughs of your game.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be so cool.
Well, I don't know if they have lineage in their game, so I don't know if I could
I
make.
don't know. They don't have that.
Leonin?
Yeah, thank you. Rain
Sorry.
decided to not function.
Okay. So, has anyone got a Dragonborn like character thing in front of them so we can try and hash this together?
No. I would have if we completed that one shot where we have amnesia, but otherwise no.
Okay. Don't remember doing a one shot with amnesia, but
It wasn't it was Maze one shot.
oh, okay, that's fine. Can someone get the character sheet up in front of them so that we can try and hash this together? Because I'm on the link that Frost sent.
If my phone will load. There we go.
Love
And
when
I'll
the
try
internet decides to not
like
work.
stats and all as we're doing this.
Huh? I didn't hear what Rose said.
Oh, I said I'm gonna try to record stats and all while we're doing this.
Okay.
I know I do have a Dragonborn character that's currently on the sidelines.
And if people find this interesting enough, tell us in the comments, and maybe we'll add as a race on Riders of Fate. I don't know if that's possible still, but always fun.
We could do it.
Yeah. So if you guys
It would
recommend,
take a little bit of extra work, but we could do it as like a bonus race, yeah.
yeah. So tell us in the comments if you, and also tell us in the comments any adjustments you think you'd do for any of the spells that we said.
Right.
Always good to have public
Yeah.
feedback.
I mean, at points as well,
And
we will be making like polls for people to vote on certain things as well.
yeah, and while you're there, may as well say things that you might enjoy watching from these types of podcasts where we aren't in session.
Oh, feel
So,
free to ask the characters questions.
oh yes, yes, yes. We're also thinking of doing character Q&As where the characters themselves answer your questions.
Well, we do have that set up as one of the Patreon.
So check out our Patreon if you want to be on that. No, I think what we have set up is like you get a fast pass to your questions if you're on Patreon, but everyone's questions will get eventually answered.
Yeah, basically.
But it
Basic.
is also
it's-
in there, so
Yes.
it's also on our Discord, and obviously first 100 subscribers are getting access to everything on the Discord.
Except on the Patreon exclusive area.
Yep. It still gives you access to quite a few different areas, which is good.
Yes.
So you have a Dragonborn.
And who knows, maybe we'll do a giveaway of some of those in the future.
Yes, give me just a minute here. I will be right back.
Okay. Hey,
For the
what rate
what?
do Dragonborns age at?
It says they walk hours after hatching. They obtain the size and development of a 10-year-old human child by the age of 3. They reach adulthood by 15, and they live to be around 80.
So that's because centaurs mature in age at the same rate as humans on this one.
Okay.
So could do it at the 15 mark for the Dragonborn. Part of it. I know they're not here right now, but I'm just because the age isn't a massive one, unless they're going to decide to be like really old.
You want to jot down what we're talking about so they come back to it?
By the way, we have been discussing this in your absence.
Right. Here's
Where
all
do
the
I
points.
put this?
Maybe
Riders of Fate
no.
or our
Just
general?
I
yeah,
would
I
just
think our general.
Okay.
Because then after that we can put it very neatly on like one file, and then we can send it to Riders of Fate so that it doesn't clutter everything.
Okay, so that's the age done.
Okay.
They would still get charge as an attack, definitely,
Okay.
or as a bonus action, actually. Creature type is Fey.
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one to keep. Would also kind of explain a lot of the shit that happened. Equine build.
How?
Would that be like dragon build?
I know for Dragonborn they've just got the dragon ancestry, so And breath weapon.
I don't think they would have a breath weapon because they are going to be able to use their two. Because on this it says about hooves, but if they've got dragon legs, they are going to be able to use their front two dragon legs as like 1d4 plus strength modifier
So
of
they have a
slashing
claw.
damage. Yeah, they have a claw attack.
Okay.
So I don't think they need a breath weapon because they could make a normal attack and a claw attack.
Okay.
But they would deal slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus strength modifier. As an unarmed strike, they can use their
So it
dragon
doesn't
legs.
really matter what color they are then.
It does because the colors still provide like resistance or immunity.
Okay.
So like I am fairly sure as a green dragonborn they would have acid resistance.
The thing here that I have is black is acid, blue is lightning, brass is fire, bronze is lightning, copper is acid, gold is fire, green is poison, red is fire, silver is cold, and so is white.
Okay.
Alright, bye,
Hi
Bjorn.
Dragath, Bjorn.
But
Bye bye.
So claw attack. Extra attack. Unarmed strike. 1d4 plus strength. Ooh, strength modifier. They're gonna get back and be like, "What's going on?" We're gonna be like, "We pretty much sorted it all out for you."
Yeah, basically.
Um, saying here that they can have proficiency in one of the following skills: animal handling, medicine, nature, or survival.
Oh, I think any part of the Fae usually has that.
Does Dragonborn come with proficiencies in, or does it depend on the type of Dragonborn?
I'm scrolling.
I definitely got the better end of the deal here. I do not have to scroll to see all of this information.
Yeah, there's different types. Like there's gem dragonborn, there's chromatic, there's
Oh, this is going to be
entered.
interesting because the last character we built didn't take us too long. This character, we don't have to build all of it, but we're essentially creating the Draco Tor race.
Yeah. I don't think so, actually.
Okay.
Oh, advantage on intimidation or persuasion.
Is this advantage? Proficiency. Okay.
Oh, the proficiency. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. This is proficiency, so they could choose out of one of the following of those and one. Yeah, that would only give them. That's fine. That would give them 2. This one increases strength score by 2 and wisdom by 1.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Let's take that bit.
My God, this is so long.
What? So it was. Was yours proficiency or advantage?
Hang on, let me scroll back up to it. I was checking and seeing anything else. Okay, in the Dracon Blood, a bit, it says, it's called Forceful Presence. When you make an intimidation or persuasion check, you do so with advantage once per long rest.
Okay, that's cool.
It seems like for the standard one, the main thing you get is the breath weapon and the damage resistance, as well as your strength score increases and whatnot.
So it'll be the strength score bits that we need to look into.
Yeah.
So this one says it increases the strength score by 2.
Strength for the standard Dragonborn, which is the one I read with all the different
Yeah.
The strength score increases by 2 and your charisma score increases by 1.
Okay. So we could still have the strength score increase by 2.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The thing is do they want to stick with the standard one, or do they want to go chromatic?
We'll find out when they come back. Base walking speed is 40.
Mine was 30, I believe. So
I think we will do it as 40
okay, that makes sense.
because it's still a quadrupedal animal.
Yeah.
Quadrupedal. Walks on all fours, basically.
Yeah.
They'll get the charge move as well,
Okay.
because that's part of like the base class, I think, for them.
The Dracon blood has dark vision.
Yep. So dark vision.
Yeah.
On their other one,
I'm finally back.
Oh.
if you check general, we have cobbled together parts of your race for you. To be fair, we've actually done quite a bit. So, as a Draco Tor, you mature at 15 years of age, and you normally reach about 80 years of age.
I was thinking for her to be at the age of 27.
That's
Not
fine.
too old, but
That's absolutely fine. You have an extra unarmed attack, which is 1d4 plus strength modifier slashing damage.
okay.
You have proficiency in one of the following skills. So either animal handling, medicine, nature, or survival.
I would think survival.
Once per long rest. From what I understood, you have to choose it is either you get it on intimidation or persuasion. I don't know if it's something you can choose in the situation. But you get advantage once per long rest on either intimidation or persuasion.
Yeah. That's called forceful, and that's from the Dracon blood trait. This is what I'm going through, if anybody's curious. Such a long, like.
Your strength score is +2. But we did say that depends on what type of a Dragonborn you want to be.
Do
Okay.
you want me to list off the different types so you don't have to scroll?
Sure.
Okay. So there's the state, which has black, blue, brass, bronze, copper, gold, green, red, silver, and white. Then there is the chromatic, which is black, blue, green, red, and white. Then there is the gem, which is amethyst, crystal, emerald, sapphire, and topaz. Then there's metallic, which is brass, bronze, copper, gold, and silver. That's chromatic again, but it says UA. Interesting. Okay. Well,
The gem dragon sounds interesting.
the gem.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you see like red, green, and I think blue a lot, but you never really see any of the gem dragons, so it would be pretty interesting
That would
to have.
also make sense for their creature type as well. If their creature type is Fae,
Yeah.
it would make sense for them, in my mind, to look almost like crystally.
Yeah. If you still want to go with the greeny kind of look, I would go with emerald. And then your damage type would be psychic.
Oh, interesting. I am a psychic dragon.
I just might do that.
Okay.
Welcome to our campaign where we have a psychic dragon. Well, a psychic dragon mutation, because you are a Dracotor, which has, as far as I'm aware, never existed anywhere before.
I don't think so. No.
You're magic. Congratulations.
You are the fabled
I am the
unicorn, one
result
of a kind.
of. Let's just say she's the result of a magic experiment gone wrong.
Okay.
That
Thanks
it
for
would
the
make
lore
sense.
drop.
Illegal testing.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the lore info.
For the gem dragonborns, there is something called gem ancestry. You trace your ancestry back to a gem dragon, granting you a special magical affinity. Choose one type from the gem ancestry table, which I kind of read off. And this determines the damage type of your other traits shown on the table. So yeah, if you were to do an emerald, you'd have psychic damage, or I guess not, because we're not doing breath attacks. The DM said.
No, you
It would
don't
be
have breath attacks.
a good thing you can do as well, though, is you do have the ability to telepathically speak to any creature you see within 30 feet of you.
You can definitely keep that one.
Yes, that would be very useful, I think.
You can definitely keep that one. But it will only be that one creature.
Yeah, it says you can telepathically speak to any creature you see within 30 feet of you. You don't need to share a language with the creature, but the creature must be able to understand at least one of the languages you speak.
Okay. So I would
So in other
believe
words, if you start,
already Draconic would be one of the languages she would speak already.
You'd probably get common.
Yeah.
Everybody's
common, everyone has common.
and you'd probably, as you are part centaur, you would probably have Sylvan.
Yep. But they're technically not part centaur.
I keep having the mental image of the centaur bottom and the dragon top, and I can't get away from it.
But from what I understand, it's a dragon's like bottom with like a dragonborn upper body. So like
That's
a
pretty much the.
full-on
Hold on, I can actually
dragon
pull
centaur.
up something in reference to how it would look.
Which is why I don't think they would know Sylvan because they're not an actual centaur. They are a Dracotor. They are different. So
Ooh, this is pretty cool for a dragonborn, though. They have something called Gem Flight. Starting at 5th level, you can use a bonus action to manifest spectral wings on your body. These wings last for 1 minute For the duration, you gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed and can hover. But once you use this trait, you can't do it again until you finish. That's pretty cool.
That is cool. Although they cannot fly.
It does say hover.
It does say Hobbit, yeah, but it's a Draco tour. They can move faster than the party anyway. I just don't think, in my mind, they should be able to fly as well. Considering they have an extra attack and a charge move, they're also going to have something similar to the equine build. I just think, personally, flying on top of that would give them advantage in attacks as well.
That's fine.
I know that's what I'd be using it for. The resistance, yep. Telepathically speak to a creature, yep.
List off the other. Amethyst is force. Crystal is radiant. We know that emerald is psychic. Sapphire is thunder, and topaz. There we go. Is necrotic.
This is what I had in my post in general for y'all.
What?
Those.
Okay.
I found a reference picture for y'all to kind of see what I have in mind.
Okay. I think I was the main one struggling.
Yeah, that's what I imagined.
Okay. Got it.
That is pretty much what I imagined. I will pop an image on the video for those listening. Yeah. That's why I don't think they would have wings. Unless they chose to like cast polymorph on themselves and give them wings.
Got it. That's fine.
But I also think we might be able to give them the ability to use their tail to attack as a bludgeoning weapon as well. Not as in like a bonus attack or an action, but if they chose to.
There we go. Some more pictures.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to post all of these pictures that are being posted simply
No, you
because
don't
of
have to
like
post all of them, but I
artist
just wanted to
rights and stuff.
do it right.
That's okay. I'm just explaining. They have posted more pictures, but I won't be able to show them due to like artist rights and stuff because I don't know who the artists are and I don't want to.
Offend.
Well, I don't want to put work up that is someone's work without being able to give them credit and without asking the artist if they're okay with us using it.
Yeah.
Which is why there's this whole thing of we've like redesigned logos and stuff so that it's not as generic. A lot of the artwork we're going to be creating ourselves.
Or rather, Spring's going to be creating it.
Yep.
I zoned out. What
I
happened?
do plan on
Just
my
explaining how
Dracotar.
you're going to be doing all the artwork.
Ah, yes.
We're going to refer to this as dragon build, but you will also have this. And I think that's pretty much most of the basic stuff that you need.
Yeah.
So you will have, it will be called dragon build, but it is the same as equine build. So you count as one size larger when determining your carry capacity. So we'll work that out when it comes to it because we do an item limit, not a weight limit.
Okay.
And the weight you can push or drag. So that will also, you will count as like a larger object pushing or dragging something. In addition, any climb that requires hand and feet is especially difficult for you because of your dragon legs. You can make such a climb. Each foot of movement costs you 4 extra feet instead of 1 normal foot. So if you are climbing, you can only move at 10 feet per turn. Because you got 4 dragon legs instead of 2 legs. And a tail.
Yeah.
So, fun and games. Yeah, languages, draconic, common.
Sylvan.
I'm not sure about Sylvan. I'm thinking what I can replace it with. But I might just go with a language of their choice.
Okay.
Because
I just know Sylvan's the default one for most Fae.
yeah,
I mean, Sylvan would be good for, I think, most, but I also believe maybe, well, I would think Common and Draconic were already languages. Being dragon, even in both
well
sides
that's
of.
why
But
Rose is dropping in and out.
yeah, my connection's going derp.
That's okay. But yeah, no, definitely draconic, definitely common. We could go with Sylvan. And then we'll give them an extra language in place of the flight ability.
Okay.
So then, common, Sylvan, draconic, and a language of your choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um,
languages, common, draconic, Sylvan, and your choice. I think because they're gem ancestry and it's the psionic mind type one. We'll also give them that wisdom score increased by 1
Okay.
because that is part of the centaur feature. I don't know if the thingy gem ancestry gives them.
It just says increase one ability score by 2 and increase a different one by 1. Or
Okay,
you can increase 3 different scores by 1.
so if we do it as the strength score +2 and wisdom score +1, that's the 3 points for the gem thing anyway. Strength
Yeah.
would make sense as a centaur or Dracotor. You're still going to be pretty damn strong. You've got the lower body of a dragon and the upper body of a dragonborn. I think that's pretty much your race created. If you are happy with what we have done.
yeah.
So now we just need to take all of that and put it into the Riders of Fate.
Made especially for a dragon rider.
Oh yeah,
The
that's a
Drake-
really good point.
Dracotor the dragon rider.
That is a really, really good point.
Well, DM, I think you've made a race that we need to make another full game for.
How would a Dracotor be a dragon rider?
No, it's gonna
Yeah,
have
no,
to be.
for the TerraForma.
Unless... Oh no, I know this is for, but we were saying we could put this race into Riders of Fate because it's a unique race.
Okay.
But
Well,
the
it could be
issue that we have just come
dragon-
across is I
Maybe
think they
consider
would have to
black
be
dragon.
able... I think they would have to be able to have like an ability to take a human form if it was in the Riders of Fate campaign.
Yeah, probably.
It's supposed to be part of like the polymorph, I would think. They could polymorph themselves into a human.
Not necessarily into a human, but into a dragonborn.
Yeah.
However, I would say the difference would be that it wouldn't obviously be like a dragonborn, it'd be our version of that. But I would say that the difference would be it would have a tail.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when in its like humanoid form, it has a tail, whereas normally that race wouldn't have a tail.
I mean, they could also choose like maybe a tiefling form.
We do have the Inferni, which are like demonic descended, but they are like demon descended, so it wouldn't make sense for a Dracotor to take that, but it would make sense more for them to take like we do have a race which is similar to Dragonborn. Just because it is quite a popular option.
Yeah.
But yes, I think it would be, they would have to be able to take like a human form if it was in Riders of Fate, so to speak, because otherwise how do they ride dragons?
Just fucking like what? Ride side saddle.
I don't even think they'd be able to do that. I
I
think
was
it'd
thinking
have
that
to be like
wouldn't
they would
necessarily.
lay on its, like it would have to be a huge dragon and they would just have to lay on its back.
I was
Like
thinking that
strapped.
maybe they would be kind of like in a way like the kobolds, where they would take care of. They would be caretakers of like the dragon's young.
I mean,
Well,
dragons in Riders of Fate don't quite work the same as dragons in TerraForma and D&D, because
Okay.
they have people who specifically are tasked with looking after the eggs, whereas your race is at this point rare. I don't think you would necessarily be tasked with looking after the eggs, but I do think you would be like guardians of them.
Yeah.
Like a very elite guard for some of the older dragons. And obviously because the idea is that any race can become a dragon rider, we are going to have to figure out the mechanics of how a Dracotor can ride a dragon. So while I try and implode my own brain figuring this out, and I do think the easiest solution is definitely going to be that they can just take a humanoid form. And at the same time, I just have this image in my head of a dragon
I mean, kind of
basically
like
just
Were
like,
Dragon.
huh?
Just they could take on a human form, kind of like a Were Dragon. Just we're human.
The wagon.
Dragon. What the hell?
It's a were dragon's wagon.
It's I'm speechless. It's just, of all the names that we could possibly have conjured into existence, you went with Weragon, which either sounds like a really bad clothing brand or a shape that I have never seen in my life.
Oh. Oh.
It's a shape that, depending on the cycle of the moon, changes in size and outline.
What are you outlining?
It depends. I don't. That's. I don't. Like, where Draco wear. Although that sounds like a really bad kitchen brand. Buy Draco wear today. Infused with dragon scale essence, this china is designed not to break. Also resistant up to 7,000 degree heat. You know,
Oh,
just in case your dragon isn't happy with the food you feed them. I've uh, props for coming up with it so quickly, but I really don't think Weragon is or Weragon or whatever is the way forward with that one. Yeah, they're just gonna have to be able to take a human form. And it's gonna have to be something like once per long rest for a set amount of hours, and as they level up, they get more time they can spend in human form.
yeah.
So let's put that on there as well, so that we've got all of that together. Human form. Actually pressing a J when I don't want to be. Human form. For how many hours a day should it start out at?
Oh,
I'm divided between 2 and 3.
go up one and say 4.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because I mean, 4 hours is a fairly long time.
The
We'll go
length
with
of
4.
yeah.
For 4 hours long rest, this will increase by. This is something you don't need in this campaign, by the way, Rose. This is just for the
Riders.
Riders of Fate.
Yeah.
This will increase by 1 hour every 3 levels.
Yeah, why not? Since it's gonna have more than 20 levels.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because eventually, if they're a high enough level, they could basically just stay in human form for, like, the whole day or longer.
Yeah,
So I
like
think,
they would.
yeah,
They'd end up
increase.
getting a couple days.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take.
Which is based on marketing towards our other campaign, we didn't really start riding the dragon at level 8. So
Yeah. So that part. This is interesting. This part. Although you've got to remember your feet won't be hooves. So I'll edit that as
They'll
well.
be claws.
They will be claws.
Very, very
Which
sharp.
is why you have claw attack. This will probably need editing to make it more comprehensible, but I don't know what we call dark vision in Riders of Fate, but I'm just leaving it in as dark vision for the moment so that we know what it means.
yeah, I'm sure we'll rename things as we're.
Yeah, I
And then-
think we have a name for it. I just don't know what that name is.
I wasn't there for most of the voice chats of Riders and Fate in the other server, so I can't help you there.
I think it was me and May, but I was basically bouncing ideas off them.
I
turned
believe it
around,
you, May, and Darvaza.
yeah, and I literally turned around to them and I was like, this is just gonna be me throwing ideas at you. Like, you can react if you want, but I am fully expecting me to do all the talking because that's what it was.
Yeah, I remember I woke up and you guys were in voice chat.
So what are you doing here? Hi.
You-
It wasn't even on the D&D session day either, was it?
No, it wasn't. I just woke up to a bunch of messages. And I was like, the fuck?
What's going on here? Did you join that chat?
I think I was getting ready for work.
Okay. I was gonna say,
I
because
think
if you joined that chat, I'm sure I would have just been like, by the way.
I think I joined later,
Okay.
and it was mostly done at that point.
That's fair enough. Right. That is the Riders of Fate Draco Tour race. We are obviously going to have to change some parts of this. E.g. gem ancestry type stuff, but
Well, we're gonna have to include more than just gem ancestry.
I know, I'm aware. Although, technically I could just do it as dragon ancestry and have it as the different types of dragons that we have already in the campaign because that would make sense.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've got the basis of those, so we would just change it to dragon ancestry and then I just need to make sure that I include a psychic dragon in it.
Yeah, right.
How weird would that be if you came across that dragon in the wild? It just knows everything you're going to say. So, like, before you say something, it just answers the question. Hi there, welcome to the Yes, I know who you are. I know exactly why you're here. You're looking for the chest over there. No, it is not booby-trapped. And yes, it will contain treasures. Who am I? I'm the dragon of so-and-so. Just like, oh my god.
Ah. So does this mean we're gonna potentially add more dragons to the actual game than we've worked with?
Your campaign is called Riders of Fate.
Yeah.
The whole first story arc precluded to the fact that there had been other dragons that had existed. You
Yes.
have a book which is full of breeds of dragon.
Yeah.
There
Eh.
are definitely going to be more dragons. And
Okay.
especially where you have jumped to. Because I have been dropping hints. But
Okay.
yeah, like it's a dragon rider / dragon campaign. Of course you are going to come across more dragons.
Well,
Plus you've already come across a couple that aren't your dragons.
yeah, I meant like are we gonna like? I'm just thinking from a book standpoint. I'm like, how many types do you have planned? Is what.
How many
There.
types of dragons do I have planned? That's a really good question. Honestly, I could not tell you.
Okay.
We have at least the ones that you have seen in the campaign that you are playing. We have obviously a few extras around that as well. And there are others that I think I need to create.
Okay.
But it's going to be an interesting thing because I am going to say at least 20.
All right.
However, there can be different variations on those. Like, the idea is that obviously how we played it is slightly different to how it will be played when it is its own thing. But essentially, when you are creating your character, you also create your dragon. So there will
Yeah.
be interchangeable parts of those.
Oh, so do you get to make your own dragon then?
Essentially.
Okay, so
That's okay, Spring. It's been a pleasure, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your night. If
good
you
night.
want to join us in text, be my guest.
I'll think about it.
We
I'm
can
also
try
a
and keep.
little tired.
That's
But
all right.
hope everyone enjoyed and will still enjoy the rest. And bye bye.
Good night, Spring.
Probably another like half hour or so. If that. We'll see. Yeah, no, the idea is that you will be able to build your own dragon. Is like the whole point of it. So there will be like different types of dragon and different like ancestry and stuff that you will be able to take and create your own. The only reason we couldn't do that in the D&D type of campaign is because when it first started, the whole idea was that it was a surprise which dragon you got.
I always thought that was pretty cool.
So I mean, the way I think I'm going to do it is I'm going to leave it up to the players. They can either let fate choose who or what their dragon is going to be,
Okay.
or they can build their own,
Okay.
or pick from a set standard list. And then if I do it as say 20, if they can't decide, they can just roll a d20.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think that's the way that I want to do it because I think that's going to be the best way to do it.
Okay.
Just means I've got to try and figure out how they can be like interchangeable with abilities and stuff. Because I'm definitely going to have it as like the royal, lesser, common type lineage.
Well, now you need to add gemstones too.
But this is the thing, I don't know if I do, because if I do it as dragon ancestry, bearing in mind that if your dragon is not tainted, turned, you know, corrupted, they all look like gemstones anyway.
That is true.
So I don't think they would have the specific attribute of being like a chromatic gemstone type thing. I think it would just be their ancestry. So, like, depending what kind of color they are or how they appear will determine their traits. For example, the water dragons are basically like sapphire in color.
Yeah.
Poison dragons are purple? Green?
I believe Emrys, who's the only one we cut, is green. So
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I think it's green. I don't have my book with all of this information in, unfortunately. That is inside. So I cannot tell you the ins and outs completely, but I would definitely go, yeah, down the dragon ancestry route.
yeah. I think I'd like to be surprised. That's my playstyle. I think it would be more genuine a character if I was surprised rather than making my own.
Rose, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, it sounds fun. I've also been spacing out. I'm sorry, I'm also trying to set up, I just got a PS5 today, so I am trying to set that up.
Ooh, lucky you.
Yeah, I got it used, but it came practically brand new in the box, and I'm trying to transfer data from my PS4 to my PS5, and it's not wanting to cooperate.
I have a PS4 that I barely use.
I've been having issues with my PS4, so I wanted to not only upgrade, but get something that isn't going to have that many issues.
Yeah. I don't really have the time for gaming.
That is sad.
It's not an issue though, because I don't know, like the Saturday sessions that we play, and the fact that obviously I'm working on books as well, I don't really feel the need to game all that much.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And like any games that I do play are just mobile games. Because then I can play them wherever I am. I don't need to sit in front of a console or anything. Don't get me wrong, if I had the opportunity to just sit down for like 5 or 6 hours and just play video games, I would. Especially like going back to Assassin's Creed and stuff. But I don't know.
For
I've got
me,
I've got
playing
session planning and stuff to do in the meantime.
it gives me something to do in between resin projects, at least.
Yeah, I suppose that's very true. I probably, I suppose when I'm uploading the videos and exporting them, I could. But
I play more computer games.
I don't have the space for computer games. Or
Well,
I do, but I don't know fully how to set them up properly to install into the hard drive and boot off of the hard drive. Because I can't use my computer hard drive. I
You'd
have
have
like
to
no space.
about that. You'd have to talk to Mosaic about that because with the latest like big update that that Genshin did. They had to rework the whole gaming computer.
I don't even have a gaming computer. I've just got a normal computer.
When we moved in, they insisted with their last big check that they were going to get a gaming computer because they like gaming.
I would love to have a gaming computer. I'm not gonna lie about that. I genuinely would love it. But I do think at the moment it would be a bit like the same as my PlayStation. I would have it. I wouldn't really use it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time when I'm on my computer, I'm either writing my book or I am planning out D&D sessions, especially with this campaign.
Yeah.
Or I am, you know, exporting the files and uploading them. So I don't think I would. I mean, if I had a couple of extra hours, but then at the same time, I would also want a more powerful computer so that I would be able to do other stuff while the file was exporting.
Oh, I
Because
bet.
at the moment, I think if I was to do something like, I would say simple, which is say like run Minecraft.
Yeah.
I do not think my computer would be able to handle running Minecraft and exporting an audio/video file.
Oh no, probably not.
I think it would have a seizure.
Love it when computers have seizures.
I hate it because, especially when it just shuts down instantly and you just sat there like, I hope this turns back on. There is no worse feeling than when your computer just cuts out and you are
Yeah.
just like, press the power button and that 30-second to like minute wait where you just wait to hear if the computer makes any strange noises.
Oh boy.
The worst thing ever. Especially I did IT as a BTech in college. And one of the things we had to do was troubleshoot computers. So although I know vaguely what to do, but honestly, when it shuts off and then you just get it and it just makes this weird like noise and you're like, oh, something's really wrong with this.
Yeah.
Or it does like 3 beeps on the BIOS setup and you're like, oh, okay.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's the worst thing. Or if you switch your computer on, it doesn't know which boot to which drive to boot from. So it just loads up a completely blank computer and you're sat there like, how? I didn't change my BIOS settings. How have you done this?
Yeah, right.
It's fine because at one point when I first got this computer and set it up, I switched it on and I genuinely just thought it was broken.
Oh jeez.
It wasn't. It just for some reason hadn't installed the Windows drivers properly. So I had to go through and set them up myself, which is great fun. But yeah. Does anyone have any like questions, ideas?
Well, if you knew all the races, since this thing has been mostly about riders, maybe we could talk about the races that we made. But I don't. You said you don't have the notebook, right?
The only race I have got in this book, which I think is the hang on. What's this one? That's a drawing book. What's in this? Random ass drawings. Let's have a look and see. It won't be in that one. Won't be in that one. That one's book ideas. Yeah, it's definitely not in here. The only one I've got is the Inferni race,
Okay.
which is basically like the Tieflings, and I've only got one of the sub races down for it.
Oh.
So Inferni, descendants of the demon lords who used to walk the earth. This race has the innate ability to tap into the flow of magic that is within this realm, and that of the demonic realm. Depending on the subrace, this creature can take on different appearances and attributes. Although their overall appearance is similar, there are slight variations. So I had the Flame Inferni. Inferni of this subrace tend to be more mute in colour. They can range from a dull red to deep brown, and in some rare cases can be orange in colour. Due to the demonic fire of which they are born, Flame Inferni are immune to fire damage and are strongly attuned to the flow of magic. This type of Inferni makes strong spellcasters and can often be found on the edge of battle, causing great damage and destruction to an enemy that finds themselves on the receiving end of their spells. You get +1 expertise in magic, health is 1d6 plus 0, attributes is fire immunity, physical appearance. They look red, brown, and occasionally orange in colour. They have claw-like hands and feet and a long tail. On average, Fire Inferno are between 5 foot and 7 foot tall. They have long hair which goes down their back, and due to having a higher temperature, they tend to wear less clothes and prefer lighter armor types.
Okay.
And that's all I have got in here about the races. But I do know that I have another book which has like all of them. We have bird people. We have like Nephilim type race. We have the Inferni. We had a lot. What happened to all of these? Where did they go? Are they somewhere lost in the general chat?
I don't know.
Apparently not. Maybe. Okay, there's no results for Inferni. Maybe I just wrote it all down. Or is it in the... Hang on. It might be in this one.
There's a Volcuri.
Volcuri, I believe, were the bird type. Oh, there's Animalia.
Which I think was
That's
basically,
any animal type.
yeah.
And then there's a mythical subclass of that, which is like any mythical animal.
Yes.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Races: human, elf, dwarf, halfling, inferno, animalium, volcori, nephilim. So that's the different races. Did we go on to classes? Healer, ninja, paladin, cleric, druid, scholar, forger, mage, brawler, potion master.
Okay then.
And then we had subclasses. Where were the subclasses? and sub-races. Because this is actually when we actually had people roll characters for this. Because forger in this isn't someone who like forges paper, it's someone who builds stuff. And I'm fairly certain we actually created a subclass which was an architect forger. So they could build structures. Yep, these are the stats. Because you only get aerobatics if you're one of the flying ones, which is Valkyrie or Nephilim.
Yeah. Do Nephilim keep their things all the time?
It depends which Nephilim you are. Okay. Oh yes, because we had an anti-healing healer.
That was Darvaza, wasn't it?
Actually, that was Lula who discovered that one.
Oh,
They believed it was going to break the campaign because it was the highest hit dice race plus an anti-healing healer plus everything in health means you would be one-shotting everything. Because as an anti-healing healer, you use your health to give damage. Oh no, it was Anne who thought of that. I apologize. Yeah, apparently you could do it that way, but I pointed out that that wouldn't work because you have a minimum HP that you have.
yeah.
And if you go below that, you die. Item rarity: common, rare, super rare, mythic, legendary, and godly. This is just random notes. From our Riders of Fate RPG chat in actual Riders of Fate campaign.
Yeah.
That's fine.
The campaign that inspired the game.
Yeah. Basically. Where it all began. There's a couple of spells in there as well, by the look of it. Or features.
Wow.
Someone have a rock called Dwayne?
What?
I don't know. I can just see there's a Shadow Inferni subrace, Earth
Yeah.
Elf, and then if there's not an ability for an Earth subclass / subrace called Stand Your Ground, I'll be very disappointed. And then someone put like Dwayne.
Oh my god.
Did I give someone a rock that was called Dwayne? That's a very me thing to do. Earth Inferni or a Nature Inferni. This is like way back as well, Jesus.
Yeah, we started the game way back when.
30th of the 1st. We had a rough character sheet drawn up for how it would look. Races and sub-races. Oh. I have all of the races, sub-races, and what they grant you.
Oh, nice.
Wow. And their hit dice. That's pretty good, isn't it?
That is.
So we have Inferni, Flame, Earth, Shadow, Wind. Flame, Fire Resistance, and it grants you an ability which is called Shadow Flame. Earth, you can commune with trees and create tree armor. It reduces your movement, but you add 7 to your armor. Shadow, you are immune to void damage and you can create a shadow weapon. Wind, you glide from 80 feet. Bearing in mind these guys don't have wings. And you have air resistance. So, like, if there is an attack that uses air in terms of like a spell or something, it will not affect you. Dwarves, we have Deep Helm, Soulist, Crafter, and Heavy. Dwarves are definitely the tankiest race with 1d12 hit dice.
Well, damn.
Deep Helm, Steady Foot, you can't be knocked over, and you know the hidden language of prospecting. Soulist, you have the the smolder.
God.
Oh, that is brilliant. So basically it's a special look that you give that just, basically allows you to get away with anything, so to speak, depending on how good your role is. And conversion, which means they can actually convert people to their chosen religion.
Wow.
Crafter, you can create weapons, can build basic forge anywhere, given the correct materials. A heavy dwarf can wield two-handed weapons as one-handed, and can use shield as like heavy armor on their back. So if they are wielding like two-handed weapons in each hand, they can put their shield on their back and it acts as extra armor. Elves, we have Snow Elf, Earth, Air, and Dark. Snow Elves have cold resistance and ice immunity. Earth Elves have the ability Stand Your Ground, which increases your armor by your strength modifier, or your strength score. It's not a modifier, it's just a flat strength. And you have Earth Speech, which allows you to communicate with plants.
Okay, then.
Air Elves can see thermals, they can glide, and they can also talk to birds. And Dark Elves have Void Resistance and Shadow Blend, which basically allows them to disappear into the shadows.
Nice.
Human, City Dweller, Nomad, Survivalist, and Arcane. City Dweller has 1 expertise in Charm and has Sense of Direction, so they basically always know where they're going. Nomad has Sense of Direction and a map creation ability, and they're also able to find fruit and water wherever they go. Survivalist can find food, can create shelter and basic weapons, and what is referred to as a safe camp. So you can create camps in this world, but they may not be safe. Creating a safe camp may require different things depending on the area you are in and what creatures and such are there. However, with this sub race, you can do that automatically. Arcane gives you 1 spell book higher, and you can cast 2 basic spells without cost. So as you actually level up as a spellcaster, you get your spell book, which learns higher level spells as you go.
Nice.
Valkyrie,
Again?
air, earth, water, and suburban. So all of the Valkyrie, aside from the earth, get the aerobatic stat. Air Valkyrie can hover and see the thermal location. Earth Valkyrie run at 3 times their movement speed but cannot fly, and they get an additional to their health. Water Valkyrie can see water currents and find fish in any body of water. They also have an ability called Surface Break, where they can essentially like launch themselves out of the water at a higher speed. And Suburban Valkyrie gets sense of direction, and foraging. There are 3 more races left.
Okay then.
I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking.
Well, you're the one that found it. I couldn't find it. And Rose isn't in that server, so
Yeah, that's true. Animalian, you have canine, feline, light, and dark. Canine, animal form, canine senses, and can create a pack. Feline, animal form, cat reflexes, always land on their feet. Light, heightened senses, animal form, extra page in spellbook. And dark, heightened senses, animal form, and active camo, which is basically invisibility. Nephilim, light, dark, magic, and godly.
oh,
Light Nephilim, immune to radiant damage, and have a Nephilim aura and the ability of flight. Dark Nephilim have flight, void resistance, and the Nephilim aura as well. Magic has flight, magical resistance, and Nephilim aura. And Godly has a godly aura and 2 spellbooks.
2 spellbooks.
Yes.
So the godly one doesn't have wings then all the time.
No. It's the only one that doesn't. But it's actually because rather than being a descendant of angelic forces, they are a direct descendant of a god.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So they don't actually have the wings because not all of the gods have wings.
Yeah.
But they do have a lot more magical potential.
I'm saying this totally jokingly. So in theory, you could be a Nephilim, and you could be Morthos's descendant.
You could, yes. And then I've got classes and subclasses as well. Look at that.
Very nice.
Should we see what we've got here for this?
Sure.
So the classes, healer, ninja, paladin, cleric, mage, druid, brawler, scholar, potion master, forger. So healer, herbalist, faith, magic, and anti-healing. I haven't filled in all of the stuff for this because I don't think we actually thought of everything for it. So there you go. So the ones I've got: healer, herbalism kit, magic herbalism book. Faith is 1 book of healing and healing font. Magic 1 level higher than your level healing spell, and you also know a basic spell at no cost. And anti-healing, you can imbue health as damage and also heal yourself once per long rest. Because essentially they can use their magic on them. Like, it's an odd one.
Yeah.
Ninja, stealth, attack, thief, and weapons. So stealth, silent movement, and active camo. Attack I don't have, thief I don't have, and weapons, you have hidden blades, and you can use any weapon. And then at 15th level, you get 2 projectiles that you can launch.
Yeah.
Then we skip ahead to Scholar of Potions. Potion Carry Kit, Magic Potions book starting at basic. Spells. Basic spell book allows you to cast 1 level above your own background spell knowledge. And a Potion Master Healer, Potion Carry Kit, Potions book starting at basic, which is a healing one. And then Forger, Architect, Magical Builder, and Magical Blueprints. So basically the blueprints you look at and you can build that thing like in reality, but it takes a certain amount of like energy and levels. The thing with the spell books is you can create or purchase spell books.
Yeah.
But because it's a spell book, it has a limited number of pages. So each spell takes 1 page. You can buy books with more pages, but you can only cast the amount of spells you've got, and you can only cast them like a certain amount of times. And it's based on like a spell energy, which I'm still working the kinks out.
That definitely makes sense. I think the one I'm most interested so far is the Magic Nephilim, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for race, I don't know.
So the Magic Nephilim would be the race.
Okay. No, sorry, I meant class.
So in Paladin, we've got Heavy, Faith, Fury, Healer, but I don't have anything for them at the moment.
Okay.
Cleric, we have a Fallen Cleric, a Faith Cleric, a Fury Cleric, and a Herbalist Cleric. Mage, Elemental, Death, Anti-Magic, and Nature. A Druid, Shifter, Fighter, Spellslinger, and Seasons. Brawler, Weapons, Hand-to-Hand, Defense, and Rage. Scholar, Potion, Spells, Magic, Fighter. Potion Master, Healer, Attack, Defense, Damage. Forger, Magic, Defense, Attack, and Architect.
Maybe I'll go for a Potions Master then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Try something new.
So as a Potion Master, you will get like potion books.
Yeah.
And that will basically give you the ingredients you need, the steps you need, and everything to do it. The only limit you have is how long the potion will take you to brew.
Okay.
So your basic potions aren't going to take very long. Obviously, as you get further through the book, they'll probably become more advanced. You can buy more advanced potion books as well. You get a potion if you're a potion master. You will get a potion carry kit, which will basically allow you to carry most of the items you need for potions, but there is an amount maximum that you can have. You can buy larger carry kits, but that's again as you level up. Items in this will have like a level cap.
Okay.
Which isn't to say that. So it'll basically just be a case of these items will not become available until you have proven yourself to be worthy of them in terms of like leveling up. So like in the campaign, like people will just know of your reputation and what you have done, and
Yeah.
that building of that reputation will allow you access to higher level stuff. And obviously to build that reputation will also level you up. So And that way you will only have access, well, you could have access to stuff that is higher level, you just wouldn't have the ability to use it.
Got it. That makes sense.
But yeah, so that's what I've got for those parts.
When we do our play test of it, are we starting from level 1 or?
Yes.
Okay. Because I know when we joined, we started at level 8 for the other one.
That was because one of the players was already level 8.
Okay.
That is the honest to God answer. Yeah, you joined at that level because the party, so to speak, was already at that level. Whereas this will be from scratch.
Okay.
So I want to see how the leveling up works out and stuff like that. So I want to do it from level 1. And obviously because you will also be starting with your dragons.
Yeah.
You will still have the finding and hatching of them, but you will be pretty much starting with them.
Got it.
Which is why you can choose which dragon you're having and so forth. So like session 3 or 4, the idea is you should be about level 2 or 3 at that point, which is when you get them.
Okay.
Because that was roughly when they were supposed to be dropped into the campaign, but stuff happened. But yeah.
Definitely.
So we've created a new race, which I'm going to have to try and figure everything out for now.
Yeah.
We've gone over the parts of Riders of Fate that we've kind of got ready and in place. There is more to this. I've just got it all written in a book, and I was converting it across the computer apparently and happened to have saved the files, which was lucky.
Nice.
So that's why I was able to pull them up. At some point, we're going to have to copy over a lot of the stuff from this server.
Oh, definitely. In a more neater way.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the other thing, in Riders of Fate, guns don't exist.
Yeah.
Not even like flintlock rifles, anything. It's all just magic, swords, bows, and arrows.
I don't
And
think you
no
have.
other such weapons.
I don't think you have guns exist in this one either, do you?
You could technically get a gun,
Oh.
but it would not be reliable. Like, there are ways you could create firearms. They are not widely sold because they are extremely unreliable and basically no one really uses them. If you've
Got it.
got one, it's more of like a status symbol or a something to show off. It's
Okay.
not really highly practically functional. That's just simply because it's just I prefer the idea of it being like a fantasy land. And I
Yeah.
think guns just kind of make it too easy.
Yeah.
Is my personal opinion, you know. But no, you can get them, they're just not very practical or useful.
Okay.
So yeah, it wouldn't be an impossibility, it's just you wouldn't really use them. To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't like Riders of Fate. You can sort of get not guns, but like projectiles, I suppose. But yeah, there's no like you can't build guns. They
Okay.
don't have the right stuff for it. Yeah. So hopefully we'll get some more work done on that. And then that'll be coming out as well.
Yeah.
Be great.
Then we're gonna have to have another Saturday for that campaign.
I don't know. We'll
You don't
have
know?
to see. Yeah, we'll have to see what we can do because I feel like we would have to either end up doing it so every other week we're still doing this TerraForma campaign,
I think honestly,
or we would have to do it like every 3 weeks. However, I still want to be releasing a decent amount of content.
Yeah.
So we would have to do it 1 week Riders, 1 week Terraformer, 1 week
a different one.
non-recorded campaign, and then the week after again Terraformer,
Yeah,
and just
basically.
alternate that way. Or depending on who's available on what days, I could do it on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and we could bring in a couple of other people to do Riders of Fate
I
if
mean,
they're available. But I also want to give all of the players who are in the Riders of Fate campaign, the non-recorded session campaign, the chance to play it as well. Because again, it was that campaign that gave me the idea to create my own tabletop RPG.
Yeah.
So I just feel it's only fair to give those people the chance to actually play what they inspired me to create.
Yeah. Yeah. Not enough days in the week.
I know, right? We'll get there. It'll be released and it'll be a, great thing for people to look into. I
Too
think
bad.
that's
Too bad you worked Saturdays too,
yep.
because otherwise we could technically just do 2 campaigns with a break in the middle.
Oh, though. Like we run for about 3 hours a session.
Yeah.
That would
I
be
would.
like a 7 hour to 8 hour stint.
I mean,
So
there are people who have done it for 12 hours, and I'm like, I couldn't do 12 hours, but
I think I could quite easily do a session for 12 hours.
you think you could? Okay.
I think I could run one for that long if it was one campaign. I don't think I would be able to do it as, say, 4 hours of one campaign, 4 hours of another campaign, or
Okay.
6 and 6. I would have to do it as a full 12 hours of just one
Campaign.
campaign,
Okay.
because I think I could create the tension in a session like that and just build it to that point.
Okay.
Not trying to sound big-headed or anything, but I think I could do that.
Okay.
And I also think we'd be able to do it.
I think we'd have to have a break in like an intermission of some sort.
Definitely. This is the point when everyone runs to the loo.
Yeah, right.
Please stay tuned while these ads play. Yeah. But yeah, this is something that those who subscribe will have access to. This I say mini episode, this behind the scenes is available for everyone.
Yep.
If you like this sort of content, please let us know. We will be providing more of it, but again, that will be on a subscription basis. Simply because, unfortunately, at the moment, we just don't have time to be doing one of these every week as well.
Yeah.
Again, who knows, in the future, we might be able to. We will have to wait and see. But I think it is only fitting, as it was Terry that introduced Terry's talks. It should be Terry that says goodbye. Although
Definitely.
he is going to have to say it the way that the DM says it. You know, have a pleasant evening, morning, day, night, whatever the fuck it is, wherever you are. Adios.